Live from Queens, New York. Welcome, he said to very few people. So when I picked this time today, I actually picked an hour ago, but just managed to finish up work, and I'm rushing through trying to get this whole friggin' thing done. Anyway, um, we will have some guests at some point, but we're not going to be on too terribly long because the everybody else on the planet is streaming. So I did not want to step on Quad, and so I chose to do it early and be off by the time he is done. But I got late and I committed, so here I am. But feel free to go watch Luigi Greenberg. He's doing his skeptical show tonight. Those are great. And he's got Trucker Andy. Schmuel is on. God, there were a bunch of people on. And in the good news department, I was like, oh shit, I didn't know Luigi was going live too. And I laughed because as soon as I did go, set up StreamYard and hit the live button and put on the music, I was gifted a channel membership to Luigi Greenberg. So there you go. It's Guilt for a Good Friday. And how's everybody doing? And I don't know why my camera keeps doing this. We're gonna try to reset that bad boy. There we go. I'm better. What do you call it? Believe me, I I'm bettered. I'm better when I'm all fuzzy. So Luigi Greenberg Luigi Greenberg is does a show on mostly about skeptics and stuff. He's on Corn a lot. He's on Tukey a lot. Um, he's a good egg. I think he is the resident Dabbleverse attorney. Um, I know that would make Vince upset, but he is like an attorney who practices and stuff like that. So I don't know how he finds the time to do this shit. Leo. So hi, Michaela. Hi, Leo. Hey, Chris Mack. Glad you could be here. I'm going to do my little Opie roll call. It's easy to do when you've got, you know, 3 people in the chat. Schmuel talk, party time, party time. Excellent. Schmuel, you and Dave got a lot of mentions on MLC today. It is funny how my world has changed because there was a time when I never got a goddamn DM on Twitter. And now today I got a whole bunch of DMs like, Brennan is watching your show. Brennan is watching your show. And so I thought that was very funny. And Crumb is going to be here in a minute or two. And I'm going to try to fix my camera when that happens because, I don't want to leave you. And so the sound is good, man. But who the man, Leo? Who the man? Brother man, brother man. My favorite brother man story of late is that the Opster has a merch store, and Steve of Garrett and Steve ordered a brother man t-shirt in January and has still not received it. And every email to Opie or question to Opie goes unanswered. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And we've got nice podcast stupids, Dan. Hey Dan, thanks for coming on last night. That was fun. And we got to talk about it. So the gist of what I heard today was that Brennan wasn't really interested in me at all, but he was mad at old Davey for making suggestions about what to do with his channel. And so that was it was kind of funny. And speaking of which, hang on a sec. I'm gonna send whoa messages. The comedic fat man. Oh, if you spell Carlos with 2 L's, he does not pop up. Or he's blocked me. Oh, god damn it, it's that fucking insufferable bastard. It's like impossible to find this guy. There we go. Anyway, so I'm sending Carlos a link just for shits and giggles. But remind me, I have to. I don't want to step on the Biden yard boys. We can't have too many geriatrics on the YouTube at the same time. It sort of tilts the balance. Might offset the rotation of the earth or tilt its axis or any of those things that you people say. I wouldn't want Florida being on the equator. Because Joey C would have to leave and find a way to grift out of doing it. So tonight, don't really have a lot of plans. Talk a little bit about Brennan, talk a little bit about Chow and Mir, but predominantly I just wanted to kind of take questions from the chat. So I picked a night when I knew people would be busy and when there were a lot of other streams on so that I wasn't confronted. And I'm sure Frank will be here to ask me a question about the Palestinians. That's that's a daily thing. I don't even think I need to go on the internet anymore. I get those. And here we go. Look at this. Numero uno Josh Denny fan going up against Josh Denny. Who do you think you are? Cannot, numero uno. I don't really even know who Josh Denny is. I have a feeling I do from when he was on Compound, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he was like a large guy, well, maybe gingerish or something. And but he had like a what do the women call it when they're carrying a baby in that sling thing? He had like a little dog in a sling thing, and if that's the same guy, and I thought it was it was a little too femme for me, and but I'm kidding. I know he was Patrick's roommate for a long time, and I know they did a show together, and so, but I honestly don't know who he is. And I've never been to one of these Gavin. I've never been to a Gavin show, the Kumia Gavin show. I only went to the comedians of the compound and then seen Anthony like at Dabble kind of stuff. So I haven't seen him perform. And to be perfectly honest, I post Pat Dixon and Aaron Berg, I really wasn't much into compound. And the more political Anthony went, the less interesting I sort of found that. So I was moving on. And the other part, whoa, look at this. The friggin' camera's freaking out. I got a new computer with a NVIDIA graphics card, so um could be my light. Wow, this is weird, man. Dude, this is like old man space. In any event, yes. Leo Gunn, Josh Denny is a Melton doppelganger. They used to do a show together. Um, yeah, they were really good friends. Think, if I remember correctly, it was the old girlfriend who got in the middle, um, which also happens all the time, right? Whenever you get three people together, one of them gets jealous of one of the others, and it all goes to shit. And Melton cried on his shoulder, allegedly at Leo Gunn. That's Stallion 19. Um, so yeah, there's stuff that's good. It's funny. So I the one thing I find very funny about the Dabbleverse and whatnot is people who criticize me and talk about me, but then when I ask them a question, they tell me they don't watch the show, but they know everything that happened here. So either you guys are ratting me out, which I kind of uh, sus- don't believe. I think they might actually watch the show. So welcome um, to one person in particular, um, a Dabbleverse. What would be the word? Pioneer, maybe. I thought that was pretty funny. Um, Nice podcast, stupid. Didn't they share a bed at one point? We're talking about Denny and Melton, and they did share an apartment. And I do believe, and I could be mistaken on this, but I do believe that Josh Denny is still in that apartment. So, and Patrick moved on, but you know, whatever. They had arguments. I don't really know what I don't really know what their deal, like, I don't know, they were friends and they had a falling out, which happens, but I don't know what that was about. I had heard it was over a girl, um, or a girlfriend or something like that. But Isaac Walmart and Sam Bibley, two of my fave regulars. Sam, who said it, Schmuel, name names. Isaac Walmart, we want names. No, no names, no names. I will wait, and one day I'll be on a show and I will ask them the question. But it's not just me. I mean, I see it happen to everybody. I always see Brennan like, I don't watch Shuley, but he knows everything that happened on Shuley. So there's obviously something that has there. Josh swears he sleeps in a different room than Melton used. It doesn't matter. The fucking difference does it make? It's an apartment, right? I don't know. We can get a little whatever the word is I'm looking for. I see on the internet the Dabbleverse. It's like we make giant leaps, and I'm going to tell you that in New York, if you, I don't know, I don't think it was in New York, right? But if it was, and you had a rent stabilized apartment, you're never leaving that thing. So, I heard Kumia the other night. He had a one bedroom apartment. He said around 55th and 8th or 51st and 8th, something like that. And when he got it, it was like $1,700. And I'm like, that's fucking insane. That is so cheap. I've got to believe that somebody, um, knew somebody, because that's like one of those apartments that's really hard to get, or you got to give the super 5 grand, or the real estate agent 5 grand. Although I think they've changed how that happens now. I think I don't know. I think if the landlord pays the fee, I don't know exactly what it is. It's all when you rent an apartment, it's different everywhere. In New York, traditionally, um, you would pay either a month for the fee or 10% of a year's rent for the fee. Um, but then when you in Manhattan, in parts of Manhattan, you basically paid key money where you had to give the super of the apartment uh, crazy money. And originally it was like you had to give the super $500, and then it was like I'm reading stories about people giving the super like $10,000, and the landlords all know about it, so I'm sure that they split the money. And but yeah, crazy stuff. So, Mr. Crumbum is here. Welcome. We're talking about
What's up?
Patrick and Josh sleeping in the same bed, but
Huh?
not at the
Who?
same time.
What now?
And
Oh, Denny and Milton?
yeah, because Josh Denny is on, apparently streaming live, and numero uno Josh Denny fan thinks I have a lot of goddamn nerve streaming up against him. But I'm sure that my 14 viewers on YouTube are not really affecting anybody else.
No. And they weren't watching. Excuse me. They're not watching Denny anyway. If they're watching you, I'm just
Uh,
I'm just guessing.
yeah, and I like I said, I really don't know much about him. I thought I knew who he was, but I'm not 100% sure. And
Yeah.
and
I don't know shit about him either.
Shaggy.
He's blocked
I
me
didn't
on
think this show
Twitter
could
a few
actually
times.
screech to a grinding halt, but here comes Crumbum.
Oh, Shaggy. That's mean.
Hey, hey, it's Good Friday. Let's all be nice. It should be. Aren't y'all
Right.
supposed to be like home, like atoning, like the Jews on Yom Kippur?
Yeah, Passover. Isn't that the Jewish holiday of these around these times?
Yes, the
Passover.
Jewish, but that's a celebratory holiday.
I mean,
And
so is Easter. Easter is a celebratory. The whole Easter, the whole Lenten thing. It's a celebration of maybe.
yeah, well, I've never heard Good Friday described as a celebration. It's like the
It's
day
called
you're
good.
supposed to be, whatever.
It's a
And
good Friday. It's
I
it's
remember.
a good day.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Listen, everyone it says it's all doom and gloom. It's not, man. It's all about love in life and the light.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ap- Apparently, Sam Bibley says to get Crumb excited, you need to get him drunk. I know. So that was what I was saying to Dan. Is like I've only known you as like the smooth jazz DJ, and then I'm hearing like apparently in your Discord days, you were quite the vivacious and
Yeah.
loud individual.
Opinionated, definitely. Drunk, ordinary, that kind of shit for sure. But in my defense, every time I got in an argument with someone on Discord,
They were an idiot. No, go ahead.
well, that too, but they were coming at me in some form or fashion, So like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit around and fucking take it? I don't. Even if I'm sober, I'm not gonna take it. So, and if I'm drunk at an elevated state of retardedness, I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna go at you, right? So,
Yeah. So
That's what it boils
th-
down to.
I just got a text, and the text I got is this is from an ex girlfriend. Uh, I actually text chat last night with the one of the members of the threesome to ask her if she'd come on, and
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty funny. She's like, I haven't seen her in years, right? And she's like, oh, if I don't have to go on camera, and I'm like, you know, I always wonder like what truck hit, you know. It's very strange when you're my age and you start seeing like um ex-girlfriends, particularly ones that you dated like in your 20s and 30s. It blows you away. And but the one chick I dated for the longest period of time, and I kind of cowered out of the relationship. Um is I think oh, she's was like close to my age. She's like 2 or 3 years younger than me. She still looks great. And tall, thin, took good care of herself. And so uh it's very interesting. But yeah, threesome chick said she would come on, but she's gotta arrange it, and she won't be on she refuses to be on camera. So we'll we'll see what happens. And but I thought that would be hilarious because these guys wanted me to get my ex-wife on, and
No.
my ex-wife and I still occasionally talk. We get along, right? But we don't really have contact with each other. And then I'm like, I already did the amends thing with her, and I'm totally afraid that she'd come on, she'd come on, and I'd learn a lot more of the things that I did that she let go. So, you know,
Yeah, you don't. That's not a good idea. And I understand the girl in the threesome situation not wanting to be on camera because she's implicated in a threesome. It is on
well,
YouTube. Like
she's
maybe she's got
also
something going on.
I could quickly figure this one out. She's 50 actually, 51, and
That's that's young.
she she um has kids and a husband, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like um I don't know that she's told them the story. Um Ozone. The biggest problem with bringing her on the show is that she's fictitious. Go with that. Go with that.
For
What
me
was
though,
the
like you were saying, like looking at girl, like I've only been with two people, so and one's my wife. So like the other person, and I still see her, so I don't have that like they're both good looking still to this day. So I don't have that what you do with all these ladies you've knocked down.
Yeah, it's not even ladies I knocked down. You went on dates, you know, and then you just
Oh,
wind up
dates.
dating for a couple of months, and then
Yeah.
you know, um, it moved on,
Yeah,
and
I'm not a coxman like yourself, Schmuel. I
no,
gotta
and it
I gotta
wasn't about
say.
being. It wasn't. It's not. Yeah. I don't know why. It was just. It was. I think it was different, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you watch Seinfeld, right? Um, he did sort of get that part right where you're like, it's in that at that time it was just different people, you know.
Yeah.
And you also had to go out, so that was a big thing. Like you couldn't be. It wasn't like you could sit home and be on the web. So you were out and you would just meet people, and then you would just talk to them. And also at that time everybody's looking to get married, so um
Right.
just they're throwing shit against the wall and see if it would work. But
I've never online dated, so I don't. That's foreign to me. And people like swipe right, swipe whatever, Bumble,
yeah,
Tinder.
no, I
I
was in
don't.
the
I don't
age
know
where you
those.
had to
Yeah.
talk, where the people would be have like Match.com or eHarmony was another one, you know, where they'd want you to answer questions and
I would have
be
thought you
that.
met on J Date.
I've done Match. JDate's another one. Um, but those are some tedious women, man. Um, but like
Fastidious.
the thing about particularly eHarmony, um, Match to a degree, but more like eHarmony was, they wanted you to answer all these fucking questions, and then you were like supposed to get to know each other online and all stuff, and nothing matters until you meet. Like
Yeah.
that's the deal. So it's like, why waste all this fucking time? Um, Nice podcast, stupid. Schmuel seems like a Plenty of Fish guy. So Plenty of Fish, wow, that brings back memories. That was the free app, Plenty of Fish, and
Plenty of whales, more like
and
it.
I'll tell you, that was a lot of fucking hookers. That's what Plenty of Fish was. It was it was hookers. But the other thing too is they use these all these things use like location and your zip code. It even happens to me on Google. Like every now and then I will turn on my computer and it's coming up in Spanish, you know. And if it's sort of like going for your location, that's what it's going to do. And I love, Spanish women are fantastic, but I don't speak a word of it. And
No, me
it
neither.
was, but it was very funny. But there was a lot of, yeah, there were a lot of them were hookers. And
You ever
but
been with a hooker, Schmuel?
I always loved the one where they would go like, I like to be bought nice things. It was sort of like it's sort of like the pre OnlyFans or whatever. And then by the time Tinder came around, I had aged out, but I always thought of it as like a sex site, basically, right? People were meeting on and having sex.
Yeah,
And
like Grinder.
Hinge, I
Yeah,
think, was another one that was
Grinder.
like that.
That's a
And
sex site.
I've been to two weddings in the last 2 years, and the first couple met on Tinder, and the other one met on Hinge. So maybe it's just not that anymore.
No, I know a lot of people that met online that are happily married for years now. I mean, it's definitely a thing. I don't know. I met my wife in a bar. No surprise.
Yeah, that's tough. I did too. But that's not easy. It's not easy to do, you
No, it
know.
was no. But I mean, we were kids, honestly. I mean, we weren't.
Yeah,
We were adults, but we were kids.
we weren't kids. My wife is a chatty Kathy, and I sat down. The game was on, and I said something derogatory about the Yankees, and she chimed in, and then blah blah blah. I asked her for her phone number. I got her phone number, and she was tough, man. She was like that was a tough fucking nut to crack. I'll tell you. Took a long time, and I joke around about her because she was the thing where like we would date, and we were dating, and then like one night we were up on the High Line in Manhattan, which is like the
Yeah,
overhead park,
I know
and
what it is, but explain to the viewers.
yeah, so it's an old it's either an old high I think it's an old highway. I think it's an old part of the West Side Highway, and it's elevated. And the West Side Highway's gone except for a few of these blocks, and what they did is they converted it into a park.
It's beautiful.
So it's an elevated park, and it is beautiful. Um, but we went up there. We were at the High Line, blah blah blah. So then we're walking down 23rd Street, and I go to put my arm over around her shoulder, and she does this thing of, "Oh, look at that!" And she like goes to a restaurant window to look at their menu, right? And it was like a shit Irish bar on 23rd. So it was like obvious you're just trying to get away from me. And I don't know how it went from there, but that's
But you're married, so it went okay.
that's when, yeah, well, because I'm a what do you call it? I'm like the little doggy that don't let go. And
You
I
gotta.
liked actually what happened was I liked her, but I wasn't getting the uh I wasn't getting the feeling back, and I just said, "Hey, look," and we had like a date scheduled or something, and I just wasn't feeling it, and I just said, "Hey, it's like, look, I know you, you know." you seem like you want to date. You say you're looking for a relationship, but you just don't seem interested in it with me. So let's move on. And and she didn't say anything. And then like a few days later, she was at the Yankees playoff game and called me, probably half in the bag, but she called me and was like, "You should be here. This is so much fun." And it's all history after that. And Stallion, Big W. Oh wait, I think Dave. Hold on, I didn't see Big W's. Oh wait. Oh, Big W. Explain it to the folks at home. Um, but Big W. I think I think Dave has been cursed. I can't even read. Fucking sorry, guys. At Big W, I think Dave has been cursed for him cursing Clown Town.
Oh yeah, he went
Um,
at Clown Town hard. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
Dave was he was in rare form yesterday.
called them a bunch of slurs, basically like f word, r word, f word.
Oh, Clown Town?
Yeah, he was going off.
I thought
Did
you
you
were
see that
talking
on?
about what Kevin called him today.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Kevin's not happy with it too. I mean,
I didn't
Dave's
see it.
Dave's
What was
dabbling.
Kevin's take?
I don't think he's a. Well, I don't know, man. It's hard to gauge Kevin. He sounds retarded. Actually, I did. I wrote something down because they were talking about you today. So I wrote this down. Let me read it to you real quick.
Hey, turn
Um,
it. Can you turn up your mic a little?
is it too
Or
low? Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah. How's that? Is that
much
better?
better. Yeah, you
Okay.
sound like
You hear me now?
whatever. Yeah, I can. And then entertain the group for a second because I want to try to fix my camera.
Okay, well, if you can still hear me, this is what Kevin said. He said he was talking about you a lot today, Schmuel. He said Schmuel Buckman is trying to make $10 to $11 a month on super chats, and then he replies, "Yeah, so she had a prolapsed anus and her guts were all everywhere." So that's what I heard on MLC today.
That sounds great.
Took
Anyway,
notes.
I think I got to live with my camera being the way it is.
You
So,
look fantastic.
yo, I'm blurry. Um,
No, I can't see you. I don't look
I'm
at these
gonna
things.
stop, start again. I don't know. I was messing around with OBS and stuff because I was um,
Oh yeah, I see the little OBS icon coming up.
trying to. Yeah, it should be gone by now. Messing with OBS, messing with PayPal. Man, PayPal is a pain in the balls. I'll tell you that. Um,
PayPal.
yeah, because it's if you set up a business account, um, they don't just give you like a username. It was very weird, the whole thing. Um, they wanted to do a QR code. MBS, I've tried that like 5 times. I will do it one more time,
I'm
but
doing
we've
it.
done that and then it comes back and then it goes. I I may be using I in all likelihood it may be a shit cable or a cable that I have plugged and unplugged so many times that it's time to replace. But thank you. And not sure what Ozone's going to do, but LOL, I'm going to hold him to that.
Yeah, it's just a
Oh,
show for Ozone.
a
Yeah.
show. I'd love to do Ozone. Ozone is
Wait, clip it, Bex.
yeah, well, I would I what do you call it? I think Ozone's chats are great, And
Yeah, very
you
funny.
know, he shits on me ever, like whatever or trolls me or whatever. But it's all cool. And so the reality is I don't make 10 or $11 a month on super chats. I
No,
make
you're hoping to.
zero.
Yeah, no, that you're hoping to make $10 to $11 a month. That's what he was inferring, I believe. Like your prospects are low, dude.
Oh, I know. I mean,
But he,
no one knows that. Well, first of all, no one knows that more than me, and second of
right,
all,
right.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. If I needed money, this would not be where I was.
No, I mean
That's
you're doing this is for fun. But he literally you've got space in his mind, dude. Like you're in his fucking head because he started the show with you. He tweeted about you, and he couldn't stop talking about you all day. I love it. It's beautiful.
oh, I thought he was mostly talking about Dave. Is that fan
No,
really bad? The noise?
wait, did I mute myself?
Well, if you have to think about it, then it's not bad. And my mic it does have a setting to block out fan noises, but I don't know if it's on. Um,
Is it my fan? I don't have a fan on.
no fan noise, thanks. So yeah, this it's funny, man. Moody said he was on a show, and Moody said, when you're doing this, the first thing you need is content, and the second thing you need is audio. And
Who?
since whoa, there we go. Since I switched over to this mic, which now fucked up. Um, sorry. Hold on, kids. Um, let's get out of here. I guess it's not working. Um, since
I
I
can hear
switched
you
over to
fine.
there, it is.
I
It
don't
came
hear a
back. So
difference.
since I switched over to this mic, um, it's been um, it's completely different. You know, I'm not worrying about most of what I do, and see, this is what I heard. Crom Stallion per Stallion 19. He talked mostly about Dave and Ozone.
Maybe he did. I wasn't listening much, but I would like pop in and out, and every time I popped in, he was talking about you. So maybe he only mentioned you 4 times, the 4 times I popped in, but he definitely talked about you a bunch. Yeah.
No, I know he. What do you call it? He actually.
I mean,
He
I was
usually.
talking to you before the show, and I even
Yeah.
told you.
He
Yeah.
usually ignores me, particularly on Twitter, and or if I'm tagged in anything, it's there's 5 other people tagged, but he did
Yeah.
send me. He did tag and tweet at me that weren't replies yesterday. So
Yeah. Because
I
he's thinking about you. He's you're.
I know, man, but wouldn't it be so great if he was thinking about me like a year ago when he had an audience and was the big stuff and
No, I mean, be
Mint
happy with what
Diggity.
he's got right now. Take it.
Mint Diggity, I was telling the MLC chat about Schmuel's new microphone, the way it hooks up to the chair so you can talk out of your ass. Oh,
Toot toot
mom.
toot toot.
uh, Mint is fantastic, and
It's refreshing, minty, refreshing. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. Ozone. Yeah, I missed it. I don't want to say what I was watching in case he sees the chat. That's very funny. But I'm sorry, Mint. That was great.
No,
Um,
Ozone. Who the fuck is Ozone? Ozone is
Ozone.
very funny. Yeah.
Ozone is, and Stallion is here. I was
So is
actually
so is Stallion.
our. So we talked about Luigi Greenberg as being the lawyer of the Dabbleverse, and then last night I was also uh, chatting back and forth with the TV journalist of the Dabbleverse, Will,
The Will,
yesterday, last night, and
the Will
he's
Heron,
yeah,
TVs.
he's getting his teeth redone,
Oh, nice. I
and
need that.
he's been on here, and he's like, I feel like I was like, man, like you felt. I thought he was really busy and stuff, but he's down getting his teeth done.
Yeah.
So
In Turkey? Is he in Turkey?
no, but he's in Mexico.
Oh
Um,
God. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Why don't they stay in America to
because
get their teeth done?
you can get American doctors in those places
Those aren't American doctors in
for
Mexico.
I'm going to say it's possible that there are not, but I will say that the an ex uh, might be from Yucca Valley, California, and like once a week there's a bus that goes down to Mexico, and like Dr. Goldstein practices in some town like across the border, and I've seen pictures of the place. I've seen her teeth. He does a great job, and it's
Yeah, I'm
a
sure they do
third of the
good.
price of what they're paying here.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not dissing them. Maybe I should
It's
look
just
into
that
that.
they don't have to pay. Like this guy, I think he lives in California. I'm not really sure how it all worked, but he didn't. They don't have to pay malpractice insurance,
Right.
and the people who work for them work really cheaply,
Yeah.
and it's like
That scares me.
he makes money. He he makes the same amount of money that he was making, when he was in California, but with much less of the headache.
It's like going to Mexico and getting your meat there because there's no fucking FDA. You know? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's cheaper, but you might die. That's how I look at it.
yeah, you know what? I don't know. I mean, enough people have gone,
How are you gonna
and
sue Mexico fucking dentists?
see but the thing is too is you got to think about this. If these guys are making their money on tourists, right? Say Turkey. I didn't know about the turkey teeth thing, but I do know about like the hair stuff,
Yeah,
right? And because there's like a
it's
meme
true.
about all the guys going to Turkey for the hair. It's like if they were doing a bad job and it wasn't working, all these people wouldn't go. And
Not
then
yeah.
it brings a lot of money into the country. So then the country is a vested interest in making sure that they're not butchers.
I'm fine with the turkey hair and turkey teeth all day because I would trust them more than Mexico. Is all I'm saying. Like I would not go to Mexico for anything.
Yeah, I, I think you might be mistaken, but
I'm sure I am. I'm
you
always
know,
mistaken.
I
Yeah.
mean, no, Turkey is not. I mean, look, these people are in any of those countries. They don't care, you
I
know.
watched Wonton Don's trip to Turkey with all the hairdos. It seemed okay, so I would trust that.
Yeah.
Mexico, not so much. I don't know.
When I when
I'm
I
I'm
flew
racist, I guess.
when I flew back from Vienna at Christmas, there were people that were like there were guys that were on the plane and they had like
What the
baseball
hell?
caps on. I was going to the bathroom at one point and the guy takes off his cap and he's got the bandages on underneath it. And I'm like, "Oh, oh." But he's like with his wife and somebody else. They must have made like a trip a you know, a
Yeah.
vacation out of it. So, um but I
Oh
can't
man,
imagine getting your hair done is as painful as getting your teeth done.
teeth. I understand getting done. Hair is fucking dumb. Like just embrace your baldness. That's my opinion.
You have hair though, right?
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, it's
Oh.
definitely. I'll be bald in a couple years, but I have way more hair than I should probably. Yeah.
I literally had a full head of hair until um
That's right, Mr. Blisky.
like I was I don't know, like 50 and then it started
Yeah,
to
long
kind of
hair.
go. I was taking Propecia and Propecia, yeah, you have a head of hair.
Yeah, but it's thinning for
I
sure.
know,
But it's
yeah,
yeah,
but it's not but you're not it
yeah.
you know, and
It's
you're
hair.
also not somebody who uh relies on it. You know, like Kumia
No,
had it done.
I wear
Look,
a hat every day.
if I could have afforded, I would. I don't have a hat head. I've only started wearing hats since I went bald.
Oh,
And
dude, I've been. It's funny. My grandma used to tell me when I was a kid, "You're gonna go bald because you're wearing a hat." And I was like, "All right, whatever, dude. I'm gonna have a hat. So I don't give a fuck."
MBS Crumb don't even trust a Mexican to make his tacos.
He's right.
So MBS, I am in Queens right now, and around me are uh, Mexican taco carts, and they are fucking amazing. Now I imagine I'm getting boatloads of salmonella and God knows what else from it, but Jesus, are they tasty? You know?
Does your stomach handle it though? I mean, if you eat it and you're fine, and you don't have the shits, you're good.
No, I'm great. I've never had a problem with it.
Then you're good.
You know,
Eat that
and
shit all day.
yeah, and I know a guy. This is like to me, it's a wild story. So I know a guy who has a food truck, and he makes a certain kind of Mexican food. And so he's got this food truck. He's by a big train station. Something happened, and Noticias 47, the channel, the news channel was there, and the news person was reporting on a story, walked across the street, and got food from this guy's truck. And it was amazing. And he told some other reporter, like a lifestyle reporter, the lifestyle reporter went out and did a report on it. A week after they did the report on it, this guy had lines around the corner for his truck, and he's now probably got, I don't know, 12 or 13 trucks
Damn.
and two restaurants. And it's, but he's, some of these fucking guys are so smart. he did a thing where like it's his name, right? Like his name is the name. So some of these trucks, it's like you own 50% and you get 50% of the profits. And the he supplies the food. I mean, I don't know exactly how the money works, but essentially it's like um it's his thing, but it's almost like a franchise. And you're able to make money, but he makes quite a bit of money, and he preps the food and they pick it up from his place and in the mornings or whenever they're going to go, and they're all over the city. It's pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
actually I have to write a note about him. But I really liked him a lot. And
Is he a sponsor now? Is he going to start sponsoring the show? We should do that.
that's what's going to happen.
Do
Like,
do like
why would you sponsor a YouTube show
regional fucking sponsors
to
for
people that are all over the fucking country?
Oh, but that's
Cigarette Jones. Take
key.
Ray there. Siggy,
Oh, yeah.
I think you just want me to take Ray anywhere.
Yeah, weren't you gonna buy Ray a ham this weekend?
Yeah, so we went through it last night. I don't want to bore everybody. Ray did the honey baked ham thing, right? So and he couldn't get it. So I said I wanted to do like a taste test, a live stream where we taste test ham. But the I did call the honey baked ham place, and the deal was the lady was like, "You got to call me back on Monday because
Monday. It's too late, bitch.
Well, it's Easter. She couldn't even
course.
talk to me about it. I wasn't planning on doing it this week, but then I'm like, "Fuck, do I want Ray in my house?" You know?
Oh, dude, totally, man. You put up.
Then
I
was thinking about my office, and then the thought dawned on me that Hope's bar, where she does the shows, is really close to me, and maybe we could do it with Hope. I think that'd be a blast. So,
you should,
Mr. Blue Sky, would you be willing to host the next debates for the presidential elections?
Oh, totally, dude. That's my lifelong dream. If you get on there,
Mr.
Schmuel, send me the
Biden,
link.
why are you an asshole?
Send me the link.
Mr. Trump, did you really steal all that money from small businesses?
No, he didn't. I'll answer for him. No
we
fact
did.
checking. No fact checking, sir.
No, you got to look, dude. What do you call it? I grew up with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is notorious for fucking people on their bills.
Oh yeah, as he should be. He's a developer.
He's notorious for having to be sued to get paid.
That's everyone I know that is a rich dude. You gotta be,
but not every
some
rich
form
dude
of
is running
dickhead.
for president telling you that they're like the greatest thing since sliced bread and they love the little guy.
I never believed that shit though. Like I see y'all through that, right? I'm not voting for that. Like if you fall for that, if you think he's a nice dude, well, you're fucking dumb.
Oh no, I'm not saying I vote for it. I'm just saying I don't vote for those reasons.
People do.
I vote. Generally speaking, my vote. This is what my thing is that I'm not voting for the dude. I'm voting for all the people that he's going to bring in.
Yeah.
That are going to run the agencies and shit. That's basically the way that I go.
Which is funny because that is like the biggest complaint is Elon. We didn't vote for Elon, but we all knew Elon was going to be a part of it. So yeah, we kind of did.
Yeah, but they didn't have to do it like children, and that's what they've done. You know, like he could have done this.
The protesters, you mean?
It could have been Elon. I mean, they're children too, but that doesn't. It's like whatever. But Elon.
How is Elon being a child about it?
Elon could. With the way he's doing the announcements and he's cocky, it should have been done.
He's a fucking retard.
More professionally.
He's an autist, so he's got to be. Oh, guys.
Yeah, I understand he's an autist, but rein him in a little bit.
Yeah. No.
This is what I heard. So they said I heard yesterday on one of these goddamn shows that Elon's got 13 kids, right? I know that he's got like 4 kids. But they weren't his kids. It was the chick he married who already had kids. Back when he was PayPal and starting like Tesla and stuff. But is it true that all 13 of his kids are through artificial insemination?
No. I'm pretty sure all his kids are like biologically his.
He was married to a woman, blonde. I don't know what her name was. This is a long time ago. He was on a 60 Minutes interview, and the
Maybe he has some adopted ones too.
the
Yeah, but
kids were her kids before they got married.
uh,
They
I know
tell
the
the
one.
story. It's like he was gonna marry her and he didn't, and then she got married, and later on something like that. So,
I don't know. I'm not a
Mister
expert on Elon.
Blue Sky, what do you have against children, Satan?
Yeah, exactly.
Call me Satan,
I know he has a lot of
but
fucking
I like kids.
biological kids though, and one of them is a tranny, and he doesn't like them, and they don't like
I,
him.
can you blame him? Um, Big
No,
W.
I
Someone
I
watches
don't blame
CNN.
him. I blame her.
New,
Hit
yeah.
whatever.
Big W. I what do you call it? No, I heard that on a Dabbleverse show, so I don't actually know.
Yeah, Big W knows
Okay,
what's up.
so there we go. Brandon Deft. Now apparently Brandon Deft is Brandon. I don't know if he's new, but his streams are new. Is this
He's a
correct?
clipper. I think he's a clipper.
Brandon, you're a clipper. Um, and I've heard you do fantastic work. And I think I've seen some of your stuff, but in my world, you've only popped up recently. But Brandon Deff, to actually think the people in power are actually the ones in power at this point is beyond me. I feel like I'm surrounded by Stockholm syndrome victims. Dude, I agree. I think, but that's why I dig this firing of all of the employees and stuff, because that's what's happened is these people have taken over. They knew how to do it. And if you read about what George Soros did and how they went, there's a book by Megan Basham. She's really talking about preachers and stuff. But in the book, she points out how, like the DAs, um, like in New York, whatever his name is, got elected, and the AOC types and whatnot. But what these guys did is they went down to the really local level, and like in a lot of these even small towns, they got their people um, elected, and and slowly but and they also encourage people to take jobs, uh, and look, they took over the administration of all these things. They're like steel toe, where the thing that they're saying makes you crazy because it's not necessarily a lie, but it's not the truth, and regulations get changed.
Yeah, I
Brandon
mean the
Deft.
the bureaucrats. I think you're mentioning
Yeah,
the bureaucrats.
I'm past Alex Jones. Okay. Yeah, that's a guy I never liked. So, um, I just never. I don't know. I just always thought he was nuts.
No,
Big
I don't
W.
like him either.
Yeah, gotcha. Hey, man.
Hey, I'll be right
Katy
back.
Perry went to space, and my world has changed. I can't tell you how much. So, I don't know that. I have to be honest. I don't know if I have the ball. If I had the balls to do that. And Schmuel, can you help get Taz on Clown Town? Um, I can ask her. I will. And I don't I I I don't know whether I don't know what like has I got to know more. Like, has she said she didn't want to do it, or has she been asked, or what's the deal, and what's the point? You know, um, not what's the point, but like what's the point in whatting around? What do you want to talk about? And I'd be more than happy to talk to her. All right, Tarot Destroyer. I'm seeing my boyfriend was killed. I didn't read the rest of it. Let's read it. My boyfriend, this is Tarot Destroyer. My boyfriend was killed in an avalanche 3 years ago, and everyone says I should move on with my romantic life, but I can't let it rest till I recover his body, even though it's frozen under 30 feet of ice. What do we say about that? I mean, I don't know, man. My view of it is when you're dead, and your remains don't matter. And I don't think it provides closure or whatever. But you know, based upon the thoughtful and charismatic advice I get from Diggity, maybe you could reform it into the it's a memorial to them, and they'll never be frozen. But you know, I was cured of cancer by watching the Shuli Network and laughing for 2 years at Stuttering John. So it's possible, you know. And Kevin Brennan got me through one of the toughest times in my life. And if it weren't for Howard Stern, I don't know if I would be here today. Big W. Well, what did Jay Closer say? So Jeff Closer at Big W, they should send Weezer to space and leave them. Carl would be heartbroken. And at Jeff Closer, fuck yeah! Can you imagine Major Tom cover they'll come up with? And Tarot Destroyer 7 years ago, my parents were eaten by pygmy cannibals, and I've never forgotten it. It was a good meal. Um, but I got to tell you, Taro, you're like snake bit. Uh, and as Mr. Blue Sky says, man, you have bad luck. Um, so at Big W, Stealth would love that, his precious Bowie. Um, so, all right, Tara, we'll go with another one here. We'll bite.
All
Uh,
right.
a tarot reader told my cousin to love himself, and now he's banned from Burger King for life. Yeah, I missed that one. Um, TJ Buckman, remind your viewers that Hoboken, New Jersey elected a corrupt midget for mayor. This is the guy. See, he's talking about the guy. The guy was mayor for like 3 days when the feds. He was at the Malibu Diner, which is not there anymore, and he was mayor for 3 days, and the feds swooped into the Malibu Diner and arrested him, and it's been downhill since then. Then we got like Don Zimmer and Ravi Bala, who like I don't know, the most leftist people on the planet, but boy, do they love builders. So there's like no fucking parking spaces in Hoboken, and it's a mile square city, and the goddamn thing is so fucking crowded. And
Um, a mile square? That's how big it is?
yeah, they call it the mile square city. And
Oh,
I can
that's
tell you
tiny.
living there, it's a pain in the if there's ever like one of those catastrophes that happens, like the end of the world kind of thing, um, in Hoboken, you might as well just fucking die because you're never getting out of there because it's hard as hell. It's fucking hard as hell to drive out of that town on a good day. And
Yeah. I mean, when the
so
shit hits the fan, we're all fucked anyway. It's hard to get out of anywhere when you think
yeah, I
about it.
know. Like,
Yeah.
where are you gonna go? But everybody thinks they're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
the survivor, you know?
Yeah.
Like they all think, you know, when 28 days later comes, I'm gonna be the guy that woke up and I'm fine and I'm gonna find it. So you know, I'll find everything. What was it? The Walking Dead, Rick?
Oh
We all
yeah.
think we're gonna be Rick, right? And
I'd be Shane. Yeah.
and did you ever read The
Morgan.
Road?
No, I didn't read it. I saw the movie. It's a great
Okay, right.
movie.
So
Yeah.
talk about vicious, man. That's where they cut your thumbs off.
Mm.
And
Mm. No
so
good.
it's how the guy made control. He just started fucking cutting thumbs off, and you can't do much. I mean, you can live, but you can't use your hands. And
Yeah. I wouldn't
it's
last in these scenarios. I'd be dead.
yeah,
Um,
I wouldn't last either. I do. I think I do appreciate growing up in a world pre-smartphone and then smartphone
yeah.
because I do know how to function
With
moderately
yeah.
without it.
Yeah, me too.
But I would really miss it. Mr. Blue Sky. Yeah, I'm going to be Rick because I identified mostly with him, so that's how it's going to go. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm more of
Look,
that fat hillbilly with the mullet. Eugene. I'm more of a Eugene.
yeah, I don't really remember that stuff. Like I like the dystopian stuff and I
Yeah.
like the survivalist attitude, but It got lost past me. It
I'm
got
a big
past me. Hey,
sci-fi fan.
Leo Gunn, Artie Lang used to frequent the Malibu Diner. Leo, if you lived in Hoboken, you went to the Malibu Diner. The fucking food was great. And
I love
it's
Jersey
gone
diners.
because Ravi, it was a one-story building, say two because it was elevated, but it was it's a one-story building, and they realized, oh, we could put like a 20-story apartment building over it. So, boom, Hoboken history is gone. That's gone. And Leo Gunn, I had some
Hoboken.
crazy
Hose are
drunken
broken.
nights in
Sorry.
Hoboken, but I will say to you, Leo, like everything in my life, I miss the good times. I think when I got there, um, it was like a year or two into them having canceled the St. Patrick's Day parade, and they haven't had
What
one
the fuck?
since.
What the fuck?
Um,
I'm
and
outraged as an Irishman.
oh, their
They
St.
canceled the
Patrick's Day
fucking
parade
St.
used to be
Patrick's Day parade?
wild. It
What
used
the
to be
fuck?
wild.
I bet they got the fucking training parade going on strong, though, right?
Yeah, we'll get Leo. They do actually have one of those.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
And we also have the what do you call it? Our There's a church, SMT, so however that works. It's a Lutheran church, and it's lost most of its congregation, but it's famous for its pastor uh, transgendered from female to male,
Hmm.
and was celebrated.
Yeah, of
And
course.
it was like it was insane. And I always thought Lutherans were like the Lutherans that I knew were pretty strict, but they're about as liberal a denomination as you can get now.
Yeah.
And
I
Big
don't fuck
W,
with
we are
Protestants,
all
man. I
Negan.
don't fuck with Protestants, homie.
Hey, on the Negan thing, guys. We didn't really. I'm sorry. I'm talking a lot, but the whole deal was tonight was to come on and just kind of. I was gonna say fuck with the chat, but not even do that. But I mean fuck with as in talk to you guys and um, let
Let
you
the good
run the
times
show.
roll, basically.
But Big W, we're all Negan. All right. So last I left Negan, he was um there was like a war against him or something like that.
Ooh.
And I thought he'd be gone. But he apparently survived all this and got a spin-off show.
You didn't watch The Walking Dead really then, because it was a couple seasons when he had the war, and then he was a prisoner for like the last couple seasons in The Walking Dead, and then he escaped with that Asian dude's bitch, and they're in
Right.
New York City now. They have their own show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
I was like
he killed Glenn. He killed Glenn. So and Glenn's wife, I forget her, Maggie.
Maggie.
So yeah, it's Negan and Maggie have a show basically, and there's that like tension between them because Negan killed that motherfucker. So yeah, it's a good show. Walking
Yeah, I
Dead, Dead
I
City or something like that. Yeah,
I got lost after it. And then they had so they had the other one
I've watched them all.
that was in LA,
Yeah, Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear of the
Yeah,
Walking Dead, and that was like
good show.
it was the woke Walking Dead.
I mean, yeah, it was. It was. I mean, it was a show in its time. They definitely had a lot of woke fucking storylines somehow. But I'm a purist, so I just look past it. I mean, look past it.
Okay.
You have to look past a lot of things. If you don't, if I'm just there for the story, I have to just look past the woke. You know what I mean?
See, I have to look I a lot of the stuff I can't look past. And then it's
I
also
know, I
very hard
know.
for me to stick with a
I don't let it
show for
bother
that
me.
long.
I don't let
Huh?
it bother me. I don't let it bother me, man. Like, there's a lot of movies like I want to go see, and then like people are like, you can't see that, man. They made the fucking midgets ain't midgets, and fucking blah blah blah. I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm just gonna watch the movie, and if I see a lot of wokeness and it's weird, I'm not a big fan that the Silver Surfer is a girl in the new Fantastic Four. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm gonna go watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched Fear of the Walking Dead. I watched it for I don't know however many seasons it was on and got enjoyment out of it, but
Yeah,
if you ask me what I remember about Fear of the Walking Dead, it was the woke stories. It got to
yeah.
be like a very woke
It's
um
annoying.
it,
It's annoying.
Yeah, and whatever. So
That
let's
one girl.
I'm gonna catch up here. We're supposed to get off at some point soon because of uh, the Biden yard, the Biden backyard boys are on. The Biden yard boys. Um, TJ Leo's Grand Avenue. All right, so Leo's claim to fame in Hoboken is that's where Frank Sinatra used to eat. It's been about
Oh.
45, it's been in business 45 or 50 years. Um, I've been there exactly once, and it was for takeout, and I was annoyed that I was there, and I have never gone back. So um, that was there. Leo
Too
Gunn,
much of a hot
Hoboken
spot.
sounds like it could be the birthplace of Ray DeVito. It certainly could be, but it's so different. Like it's completely different now. You talk to these old timers. I remember Hoboken and the bars and this and that. It's so sedate now. Um, I will say that the young people when they party are much better behaved now than they were when I was their age. And Big W, this is what I suspected. The Negan redemption arc is up there with the Chad Zumach redemption arc. And
I don't know, man. I think Negan's, pretty.
we could wait. I'm gonna go back a sec. Hold on. Big W, TJ, sorry I missed you when came on Clowntown. I did not know that Tim was on Clowntown. That's cool. Tim's all over. He's like a sniper, right? He just shows up and you hear about him being there and there. And I'm like, wait, I didn't see him. I didn't see him. All right.
And he's always
Uh,
hilarious, too, which is,
Schmuel, how was
is always good.
Glengarry play? It's my favorite movie.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
How was it?
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Nice.
It was great. Uh, and it was, one of the other things too is it's an hour and 45 minutes, and that's with the intermission, which is fantastic because some of these fucking plays go on forever, and I
Oh,
want to
really?
shoot myself in the head. But the deal was is that it was so good. I would have liked like another half hour of it, but they it's different. So the movie is different from the first time I saw it, which was with Bobby Cannavale and Al Pacino. Um, that was much more aligned with the movie. It was very
Mm.
serious. It was a very serious piece. And this was, I don't want to say comedic, but they definitely went into the comedy of
Mm.
it. And it's funny. It's funny for me because I I've been in sales my entire adult life, and I'm like, I've worked with every one of those fucking characters. Like, and I remember watching Glengarry, the original, and just feeling so bad for those guys.
Yeah.
Shelley reminded me of this guy Phil Blum that like nothing ever works out for him, you know, and he has moments of success and greatness in sales, and then it all falls to shit and nothing works. The fighting over the leads is fantastic. There was no Alec Baldwin character in this one.
Oh,
So there was
interesting.
no, the only, they did say always be closing, but it's Kieran Culkin,
Yeah.
who he's playing the Randy Romo. He's playing the cocky uh, Al Pacino character from the movie with a lot more cock. He's very cocky. Um, and he's at the desk and he's talking to Shelley at one point, and he's kind of like tired of listening to Shelley, and he's like, "Well, remember Shell always be closing," and he just, and they moved on
Uh,
from that. So the
and
scene the
is
scene
that
is in there.
Bob Odenkirk's character?
Bob is Shelley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bob
Yeah.
is Shelley,
Yeah.
yeah, and so Michael McKean was in it, and he plays an old guy. Uh, it would
Oh.
be like me being in the sales room, and he's just like, he's done and he's nervous about everything. And what it reminded me of is, when I was back in sales, like these guys were old, they'd been in sales forever, but they had nothing. Like
Yeah,
they didn't have anything to look forward to. And so it was like, that's who he reminded me of.
it's like my
Um,
life.
Bill Burr plays, fuck, I can't remember the name, George? Jeff, closer. Ricky Roma, was Kieran Culkin. And, um,
Wait,
oh, who's the character that Bill Burr plays, Jeff? What's his name? George, right? Is it George or Dave? Um, and Burr was fantastic.
did Bob Odenkirk and Michael McKean do any kind of like Better Call Saul references at all?
Zero,
Damn it!
zero. Um, and if they did, I didn't notice
Uh,
it, and I was watching it pretty closely.
did you
Um,
watch that show? That was a great show.
but they didn't. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. And then what's so funny is you have what, like four main characters, and three of the four were on Breaking Bad,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Bill
right?
Burr was in there.
Or
Yeah,
the Better Call Saul in that arc.
that's funny.
Chuck, Big W, Chuck. I don't think it was Chuck. I feel like it was Dave. Um, and a
I think Chuck is
I can't
from.
remember. The office manager was Williamson, John, and he's in the plays a black guy, and he's like a very good actor, but I don't he didn't he's not a comedic actor or whatever. Like he's a good actor, but he wasn't compared to, Chuck of Better Call Saul. He wasn't he's not as good as the people around him, you know.
Hmm.
And but it's interesting. And then this is what you get, guys, living in a not living but working. I don't know if you can say it. Ah, Jarritos pineapple soda.
We got those here, bro.
I'm gonna have a little bit of sugar. I know you got them, but are they like right
In
next
my,
door in the bodega?
I mean, I don't have bodegas, but in the supermarket, yes, for sure.
Yeah, supermarkets.
We got supermarkets. I don't live in the city like you, city boy.
I I laugh
Bodega.
because where everything is fucking crowded here, right? There's a line
Yeah,
for everything,
you're
and
urban.
we moved. We moved, but we bought a house down by the beach, and it's in a smaller town. And we go when we first moved there, like we would go to Target or we'd go to the supermarket. We'd be like, "How do these places stay in business? There's nobody here. There's nobody here." And
No,
they're
they're
doing
busy.
great. It's just not the same,
Yeah, yeah.
everything's bigger and
Well, and they're busy at the times you're not there. They're busy when because they live around there probably, and they're going after work or
yeah, but it was we're all the time. But there's a ShopRite, which is like the big supermarket that everybody goes to. Um, the same company owns two of them, and one has a cop in the front. From once the sun goes down, he's there until they close at midnight.
oh man,
And the other one is like has been hit had been hit over the last couple of years by so much shoplifting. It's insane how they fucking watch you. And
yeah.
you're
Is
not
everything
allowed,
locked
that
up?
thing of like
Or is
not
everything
begging.
locked up in the fucking like the
No, but it's
soaps
it's
and
more
the?
like when you're going out the door, there used to be a lot of ways to get out. Um, there used to be two major exits, and now one of the exits is a fire exit, so you've got to go out the main exit. And the big thing for me that's super fucking annoying is when you use the self checkout, you you have to bag your stuff. So so you have to put your stuff through, and then you have to put it down on, like, I guess it's a scale or a device that measures
Yeah.
you actually put something there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, because and if like you got a chicken, you know, like a cooked chicken, and the fucking thing's dripping all over, you want to kind of hit it with the little device and put it in your. No, you gotta like run
You
it
gotta
through
weigh
the.
it.
Nah,
Yeah. Yeah.
these are, but yeah, they're over the top. But apparently they were hit
Please,
really badly.
please put the last scanned item in the bagging area. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and but they got a guy that watches you. They actually have two guys that
Of
watch you,
course. Yeah.
and they just fucking. But they like hover over you, looking, and so. But and it's like insane. Like I went there and I bought like 12 bottles of soda, uh 1 liter bottles of soda, and the fucking guy, um the cashier would not like do one, like hit 10 in the thing and put one through, had to put each one through. And it was like everything was like that. And I'm just like, I'm going to be here forever.
He probably didn't know how to do that.
I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I'm
Couldn't
not
do that.
allowed to do it, which is like my Target, not Target, I went into Home Depot once, and I had a bill. My thing was like 1709, right? And so I gave the chick a 20 and 9 cents. And I said, "Look, you can just give me back $3." I'm not allowed to do that. And I'm like, no, it's simple. It's math. You have the money.
Change?
I ain't
Can't.
taking a chance my draw gonna be wrong.
I can't do that.
So I got $2.91 in change. Uh,
It's so sad, man.
it is,
I,
but
I
it's
love the
funny
self
how
checkout personally because I'm very
quickly they've been
proficient.
replaced.
I'm very proficient at it because I've done retail my life. You know what I mean? Like I've done that job, so it's not that hard.
No, it's not that hard at all.
No.
And it blows me away how much I never really buy a lot in the big shopping cart, but it does blow me away how there are people that they get pissed off if like the manned cashier line is busy, and
Yeah.
they have to do that. And um it's not like, it's mostly old people that are at the express checkout, the self checkout.
Yeah.
It's
Dude, my Publix, the man stations are always empty. It's always the self checkout's full of shit. I always go to I don't even do it anymore. I go there. Wherever I go to the least line. Wherever there's the least line, that's where I go.
uh, I
Fuck it.
always feel bad walking by the cashiers because it's like you say right there, it's empty, and the guy's like looking at you like,
Yeah.
"Please come here, give me, so
He don't care.
I can have my job." Frank, I'm late. Schmuel said Crumb was being nefarious on Discord. Have we
Mm.
addressed that? Uh, we briefly mentioned it, but we're gonna save the big stuff until I can find out a little more
Yeah.
and
Get the dirt.
hear what was really going on.
I'm sure there's videos.
Chris Mack, same thing. That's what I'm looking for there, Crumb. Same
Yeah.
thing. Somebody promised me they'd send me clips. Same thing happened to me when I was paying for a burger in Vegas. The kid kept telling me I was wrong and went so far as to write out the numbers on a piece of paper. He gave me $1. I tipped him. I tipped him.
Tip a
God, these
motherfucker.
it's just, it's sad, man. It's sad. So it- in my business, I don't really use them. I kind of contract it out now, but I used to use clerical people. And part of the deal was they had to do numbers. And it wasn't that complicated. But the way my business works is there's a lot of percentages. So if this gets added, it's 2%. If that gets added, it's 3%, whatever.
Oof.
And
You're fucking people up with percentages, man.
I have people that they cannot figure out a percent. And
No.
the example that I used, which may not have been the best, I said, it's like Macy's. When you go into Macy's and something is $100, you know, and they say 30% off, right? It's, oh, well, there's 10 in 100. So if I take 3 off, it's 70, right? Fucking stare, like the eyes
Yeah.
of the doll eyes, just staring at you. I'm like, and then we got into something, and I was trying to say it was like a 20% discount, and I said like, so how would you figure that out? And they literally had no idea, you know. And it's sad because when I started, you could count on high school kids to know certain things, and now they don't know shit. Like you can graduate from high school and not know shit.
Oh yeah. College. You can graduate college and not know anything.
But usually the people that graduate college are just stupid. I mean, these people are just
That too.
uneducated. Like they can learn it and that was my thing. I wound up using a test that I bought from somewhere that tested their learning ability, and because it was like I couldn't find anybody. These were the low level jobs. I couldn't find anybody who could do math, and I needed people who spoke both English and Spanish. So um, it was like, let's try it. And it's very funny because the Spanish speakers that come here from a foreign country can do all of this shit, right?
Yeah,
Their
that's
math
crazy.
skills are far superior to mine, and even people that fucking grew up in a shack in these countries. But the Spanish speaking kids from New York that have been born in New York, raised in New York, don't know dick. They do know Columbus was a rapist. That I will tell you. But fuck,
They
man.
do know that. That's fantastic. Can't add, can't subtract, can't, but they know Columbus was a rapist. That's
No, because
fantastic.
it's basic. What's happened now is it's like for a lot of these kids, it's a place that they go for 8 hours a day. They're just corralled there, and we're not really going to do any work, but we can tell stories.
Yeah.
You know, and so you come out, you've got no education, no useful skills, you can't get a job. No wonder why you believe all those stories of being oppressed and
Yeah. And
disadvantaged and shit
and
like
you're
that.
you're militant in a way for some reason, right? Like they come out a little bit fucking ornery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I I couldn't hear you for a minute because there was a train going by and an airplane
Too?
going over.
Was it a hype
Frank, I
train?
we predicted that you were going to ask me a question about Israel tonight. Frank Schmuel, John Mearsheimer recently said Israel and its supporters are the biggest threat to free speech. Should we be kicking American students out of college for
Yes.
protesting Israel? We
100%.
haven't kicked any American students out
Yeah.
of college.
Oh, an
We've
American. Oh, that oh fuck, he got me.
Yeah, no American students that I know have been kicked out of college.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's funny, dude. That's a fake American.
Well, the guy in New York also knew is if you ever read Seth Barron from the City Journal, um, this guy was speaking at local events and stuff. This is 3, 4 years ago. He's always protested something, and he said specifically on the record several times he knew he was violating his visa agreement. So I mean, you want to play with fire, you're likely to get burned.
I think
But
right in the agreement it says you can't be, doing that kind of shit. It's right there in it. I
yeah,
mean,
but
there's stipulations when you
no one's ever enforced it
no,
before.
but there's stipulations when you come into our country on a visa. I mean, any country you go into on a visa, there's stipulations. You
Yeah,
gotta
but
go by them.
we're one of the few countries that um,
Very lenient.
doesn't throw people out. And then people always say, well, in Europe they don't throw people out. But the thing is, in Europe, in these other countries, they don't get nearly the numbers that we get.
No,
So it's like it just seems magnified here.
except for the fucking, mass migration of African immigrants or
Well,
whatever immigrants. Like, if you, as a white person trying to immigrate to Europe, it's very difficult. As an American, I've looked into it. I mean, at one point, just because I was thinking about, like, oh, it'd be nice to just maybe move to Europe. I'd love to do that. It's so fucking difficult a white guy. Very hard.
uh, yeah, I am.
Unless you're super rich.
Well, that's any country. I mean,
Yeah.
Canada's filled uh, with
Even
people
our
who
country now, we got the gold card. You can
bought
pay
their.
$5 million to become a citizen of our country.
They did that in
That's
Canada for years. That's how Canada
yeah.
became so filled with Asians, Chinese and stuff. And then the other thing in Canada was, excuse me, if you agreed to operate a farm, you could immigrate there. And one of the places in Astoria, a newsstand in Astoria, if you still call it a newsstand, um, the Lotto place, I guess now, they have like a community bulletin board, and on the bulletin board was an explanation of you could buy this 1.5 acre site in Canada, and if you bought it and you agreed to farm, you could move to Canada. You could get legal immigration status to Canada, and but the thing kind of explained what farming was, and it was pretty lame. It was like the when you read about like David Letterman and those guys getting these giant tax breaks for raising bison or owning farms and stuff like that. You're like, oh come on, you know the they always set up the minimal.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
All
David
right,
Letterman has a bison farm.
yeah. So David Letterman owned. There was a whole bunch of people at the time. Like, um, you reach a point where every dollar that you're bringing in gets taxed at like 50%, right?
Right. Yeah.
55%. So what they would do is they were buying land out west, and if you met certain requirements, that land would be subject to all sorts of tax deductions, state, federal, um, and it was making up. So, because it was like, well, if I'm going to give 50% to the feds, it's not like the feds gave them 50%, taking their money. If I, instead of collecting 50 cents on the dollar, fuck it. I'll spend that on a ranch that could possibly grow in equity, and I'll get to keep my dollar.
Hmm.
So, um,
Yeah, I know that Ted Turner owns pretty much like the largest fucking
yeah.
bison farm in the world.
But Ted's a true believer
Yeah, yeah.
in the
I
bison
I,
thing.
I love
All right,
his restaurant.
I'm gonna slide over and grab a cigar from the other desk and slide back.
Oh, do it. Slide it. Slide to the left.
So,
No, but Ted's Montana Grill. That's a good fucking restaurant. You ever been?
no,
He uses all the bison from that fucking farm he got there.
I got to tell you the truth. I don't even know if I've had bison. I do know that diners, not as much as they were, but are a big thing up here. And every diner I used to go into would have a bison burger on the menu.
Yeah.
And I was joking around with Mrs. B. We were in one, and I was like, "Oh, they don't have a bison burger anymore." She's like, "Huh?" Like, I don't have a bison, but they did have the Impossible Burger.
Oh yeah.
So
Disgusting. Those are gross.
well, I haven't tried it. And mostly because I was reading an article. The guy said that the fucking like the Impossible Burger and that shit is more processed than the fucking meat you're getting.
Yeah.
So like, what's the point? And
No, there's no meat in it, but it's fucking garbage, and they
yeah,
don't taste good.
exactly. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't even tried that. The only thing I even close to that I remember was the McDLT.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It was gummy as fuck. That thing. All
Yeah,
right,
a
so
garden burger. I mean, when I was a kid, they had garden burgers. It's basically the same shit. They're gross. It's like soybeans. It's soybean patties
yeah,
with a bunch of fucking chemicals.
my
Enjoy.
wife has lately she's been using TVP. I think it's called textured vegetable protein. Maybe I think it is
Oh, what?
right. And she's like, "Oh, these are fantastic," and I'm like, "They're fried.
What is it?
They're fried. It's some kind. It's TVP. I mean, we could look it up, but it's some kind of like uh vegetarian, like a replacement for meat."
And then you just like fry it up or cook it like a
And yeah, well,
hamburger?
I mean, you can do a million things with it. She made
All right.
little like slider type things with it,
Oh.
and she keeps
How'd it
telling me how
taste?
good they are.
Did you eat it?
No, I tasted it. It wasn't bad, but it didn't have any flavor.
Didn't taste
You
like a
know,
burger. It didn't taste like a
it,
slider. Yeah.
it did. No, it doesn't taste any. It didn't taste like it tasted like fried oil to me.
Is she a vegetarian or something, or is she
No, but
just
she's
fucking around?
she's uh is she
Conscious.
postmenopausal, I guess? I don't know. She's like in her early 50s or whatever, and their body starts to change and they start to put on weight and stuff. And she's always been active and thin, so it's like I shouldn't say active and thin, active and fit and all that stuff. And it's like oh, let me, you know, I'm eating too much crap. Let me eat something good. And, but she doesn't like seafood.
Hmm.
So, and she doesn't like to eat red meat because red meat's bad for her. So it's like, you can only eat so much fucking grilled chicken before your taste buds rebel. And I think that's what's been happening.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, chicken gets old. No, I'm a big meat eater. I like all sorts. I eat a lot of steak, fucking ground beef, patties, whatever. I love it all. And chicken. I love chicken.
I like chicken, but I'm
Ham.
I'm like so that one of the cute stories of my wife when the first time I had her come over to my house, um, there was a Pollos Mario near me. I think it was actually called Pollos Brian, but they make this amazing Peruvian rotisserie chicken,
Ooh. Mm.
and I got the chicken and I bring it back. It was in my condo, and we're sitting there at the table and I open it up. She's like, "I don't eat chicken on the bone."
What?
Just like, oh my god,
That's the best kind of
it's a
chicken.
woman thing
Not my
because
woman.
they don't
Not
want to
my
get like
woman.
they don't want to be messy, you know.
My lady will eat a chicken off the bone. Come on now.
Yep. Here's an oldie but a goodie. Ben Maris. Everybody that knew that's come here says the same thing. I'm a huge fan. Loved you in the Saw movies. I enjoyed them myself. All right. So let's do a goofy. So I did Mir and Musk yesterday. Not Mir and
Oh
Musk.
yeah,
Mir and
dude.
Chow.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I had
Ha-
fun.
Your
But I
thoughts?
asked the missus to listen to it. Now the missus doesn't listen to any of this shit, you know? But I asked her to listen to it. And she had been listening to stuff in the beginning when I was doing it because I wanted advice on presentation and speaking or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
she told me that I speak so fucking slow, she couldn't get through it.
Oh no.
My God, you take forever to say anything. And I'm like, I
Oh.
got watch hours to fill, and I don't have any out of copyright movies to show. Um,
Wait, but she was saying that about the Mir Musk thing yesterday.
talking about me, not them,
Oh.
me. And she's just like, "You're so slow." I said, "Well, I wanted to think about my answers. You know, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think she understands trolling and clipping and saying one wrong thing. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah,
and then that's who you are, who you are. And
yeah. I never asked my lady to watch this shit. No,
well,
that's where
mine
you
is
fucked up. That's where you fucked up, sir.
so mine is kind of a executive type, and she's in corporate America. She's on meetings a lot. She hosts meetings a lot. Um, she does a lot of that stuff, and over the last couple of
Mm-hmm.
years, it's all become online. And so I wanted her advice in the beginning because I was dubious that this was even a worthwhile effort.
Mm-hmm.
And she helped. She did help. She gave me some good advice. But I thought, oh, wow, this was fantastic. I did such a great job. So, you can always count on your spouse to kick you, you know.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, dude. No, that's what I'm saying. My wife would just be like, "What the fuck? This is what you're doing? Wasting your time, sitting in the room."
no, my wife is as long as I don't, as long as she gets attention paid to her and I don't do this all the time, she's pretty much a big supporter of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my wife is.
sh
A lot of times, my wife is hanging out in the same room as me as I'm fucking around talking to people.
yeah, I
She
go
know
in.
she doesn't watch this at all, but she knows. I tell her, she knows. Yeah.
She just can't believe that I'm interested in it. Like she doesn't understand, you know. Like
It's like it's what I told Dan last night. I was like, I used to drag my wife to a lot of comedy shows. My wife has seen every comedy show I've pretty much ever been to. She's been with me, and the last one we went to, she's like, "Enough, I'm done. Come on, I have to. You got to go by yourself from now on, because they're so bad." It's a way.
so, yeah, man. I took my wife to Pottstown
Oh, that's right. You fucking brought her to a meetup. Oh,
Shuli show in Pottstown, and all she could say to me on the way home was, "You owe me.
you're
You
right.
owe me big."
Yeah.
And we are near. We can be near the comedy club in Point Pleasant. So Uncle Vinny's, and it's a it's a BYOB, right? You're
Mm.
not allowed to sell alcohol,
Oh, really? Uncle
and
Vinny's is a BYB
yeah,
or
it's a
BYOB?
BYOB. New Jersey's very fucked up liquor laws. But
Oh,
anyway, it's a BYOB, and I think it's 25 or $35. So it's not like a two drink minimum, but like if you're a couple, you've got to spend $25.
on soda?
No, they serve their food is great. They serve
Food?
food,
Yeah.
but you can also use the money on merch. Most people go there. You bring your own, like they'll bring their own wine or beer or whatever it is, and you get dinner and you watch
Okay.
the show. So I've taken her there um, a bunch of times, and some have been hits, some have been misses. You know,
Yeah.
but she saw Rich Voss there by herself.
Oh, God.
I used to make her listen to the Voss and Bonnie podcast.
Did you listen to Voss on Rogan the other day?
No, not yet.
I mean, oh, I tried. Mm, mm.
I'm not a big Rogan fan.
I'm not a big Voss fan.
Oh, I like Voss. Voss is fucking great, man. Voss is
Yeah.
great. And
I,
because
yeah.
it's especially cool with Voss, because it's always like, I loved when he used to come into O&A and he was going to like address this very important topic, and he had all these thoughts on it, and
Yeah.
everybody else would just shit on him, you know? And it's so funny because out in the wild, that's what he does to other people,
Yeah.
you know? And he's
I don't know.
crazy.
Voss does the same fucking 3 stories, 5 stories on every show he's ever been on
Affy,
since 2005 on.
yeah, but that's the rub on him, right? Is that he's
He's got nothing new.
he's got nothing new, and
Yeah.
that's what Voss and remind me to get back to that. Voss and Levy, as far as I know, had the same rap, and that was they were crowd killers. I mean, they were fantastic performing in front of a crowd, but you could only see them once
Yeah.
because it was the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
I
It
think
was the
that's
same
what it
thing over
is.
and over again.
A lot of
But
these comics, you gotta see him one time and that's it. Because after that, if you see him twice, it's the same fucking gimmick. It's yeah,
but they say but then the difference between them is they say Voss with other comics, like if it's a roast or something like that, where
yeah,
he's exchanging with other comics, he's fantastic.
yeah. He's a
And
quick, funny guy. He can hang with the best of them. Yeah,
right,
it's the hang. But I think that's why KB got out of the business because he realized it's just fucking fake bullshit, and he can make way more money just talking to retards on the internet. So, yeah, I kind of respect that. Voss,
it's
he
it's
he can't he
possible.
can't do it.
It's possible. I think the thing with KB is he can't maintain a relationship, right? Like, wasn't he with like three or four different podcast groups that he had a
Wait,
problem with? He was with Bobby Kelly. Um, he was with, I can't think of who else. Was he with
oh, Brennan?
Burr's
Yeah,
Network? Huh?
Brennan. Yeah, he was on Bobby's network for a little while.
Right. Then he was on
Yeah,
another network.
Kumia.
And he was on, there's another one, I think.
Yeah, I
And
think
and
he
he
went
couldn't,
from Bobby's to Kumia's. Yeah,
I think he was so maybe he was someplace before Bobby's. But it's just like he's just too fucking hard to work with, you know? And
yeah.
maybe
He's a
maybe he
dickhead.
doesn't like the hang, you know?
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's possible.
I don't
And
know, man. I mean, I can see everything Kevin. I can see why Kevin does what he does. Does that make sense? And I can
I
see
can
why
see why he
Voss
does,
does what
but
he does because he still wants to fucking make it. He wants to, and like he won't go on KB's show because KB's a fucking washed up loser, and he's not ever. He's toxic. And people don't want to fucking tarnish themselves with a toxic person because they might get that chance to do something maybe with somebody.
Yeah. No, but isn't Voss like Voss has to be close to 70?
No, probably. I don't
You
know.
know,
He's never gonna
like,
make it. That's what I'm saying. He's delusional. He thinks he might get that break eventually, but he's not.
do you
I
think?
mean,
But Voss has
Rogan.
done a
That's
lot of
his. That's his.
shit.
The
Voss wrote
pinnacle.
for the
What has he
wrote
done?
for the Oscars. He
He.
he's done a lot of stuff in comedy.
Okay. No one knows who Rich Voss is, other than people that know who Rich Voss is. You know.
Well, no, you're not going to go up to your local neighbor and say who's Rich Voss, but if you went up to a comedian, they would know who he was.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people I'm friends with outside of this kind of universe because a lot of us are very into comedy, so we know a lot of comics. But you just talk to the average person; they know who Bill Burr is, they know who fucking Shane Gillis is. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and I'm saying like Voss is he wanted to be known like that. They know who Louis C.K. is. They know who fucking Dave Chappelle is. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know
Right,
who
but
some
you're
of these
the
people are.
comparison between them, right? Those are like A-list stars, and Voss is like a character actor,
But
right?
he's not even a good actor. He couldn't even.
Well, I was really talking about the levels. I
Yeah.
wasn't speaking specifically about actors.
Well, no, he's
Chris
tried though. He's
McBride,
tried to break into it. Like he was in the Bill Burr movie with um the fucking SNL guy, the young guy. Dad died
Joe
in
List,
9/11. No, dad died in 9/11 guy.
huh?
His dad died in 9/11. That guy.
Oh,
Yeah, you
God, I
can't
know
think of
his
it.
name. He was Taco Bell guy. Um, why can't we think of it, man? I want to say Steve, but that's not his first name.
No, the guy from
Chat,
S.
help us
No.
out here, please.
Pete Davidson. Thank
Pete
you.
Davidson, thank you.
I mean, I know who he
I,
is. He was in that movie.
yeah, I don't know. Let's see what
I
Frank
mean,
says here. Norm Macdonald said when he would do movie producers would say, "You don't want to work with that guy. That he's difficult." Norm, that's exactly like who you want to work with. Um,
yeah, for funny. Yeah. Yeah,
but
Frank's not wrong.
there's difficult and difficult to work with, and you have to value. You have to value it out. Going back to the sales example. Um, I worked with a guy who was probably in the top 4 or 5 in the office that I was in. An award-winning office, all that, and he got fired because he was just too much of a pain in the ass to work with. It just wasn't worth it. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Frank in his last comment here. It's true.
as good as people make him out to be, he's average at best. Norton, Burr, Louis, Patrice, Cumia are funny than him. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I right, but he was great in the role that he was in on O&A.
yeah,
You know,
definitely. But that was
and
his like pinnacle, his best in my. I mean, that's he didn't get. He doesn't get any better than that, and he hasn't been able to recreate it. And he totally fucking shit on Opie. Maybe him and Opie could have done something. That would have been great.
he shit on Opie. You know
Oh
what?
yeah,
By the way, I'm having
they all shit on Opie, dude. They all took Ant's side.
get closer to your mic or turn it up
They
or
all
something.
took Ant's side
Oh,
at
much
the
better.
end of it, and they all shit on Opie, every one of them. And Opie fucking used to help out Rich, I think,
Did
a
he?
lot. Yeah.
I don't know. The thing that I heard about Rich was that he was a compulsive gambler. That was always the story that I heard, and um, it would be tough to put up with him,
Yeah.
and his constantly needing money and stuff. So,
Well, I
but
mean, he's an addict. So, and he was always trying to chase, like, that's why he's got 1,000 rings and fucking a bunch of necklaces. And he talks about what kind of car he has. Because, like, in his mind, that's success, you know?
yep. There's a funny story. It's apocryphal, so not going to say that it's true about Voss. When he worked at casinos, they always liked to pay him in cash right after the show because he'd never make it back to the hotel room with any money in his pocket. Go right into the casino and play craps. And there was a story of Norton where he had to call Norton, and Norton had to like Western Union him money so he could get home from one of these.
Oh, I'm sure. But then his stories, you know, he's famous for fucking bringing his own food on the road with a fucking hot plate because he's too cheap to buy food.
Well, that's the Gilbert Godfrey story, right?
That I mean,
Gilbert
I
was
always
really
found that
cheap.
shit funny as hell.
All right. Oh yeah, thank you guys. I want to go back to something somebody said. I should really make take out my phone and take pictures of the chat, or write a note. But somebody said on here,
I'll take some.
good for me, not taking Mira's bait yesterday. And Jimmy I'm late to the party, but Mira must be eliminated. He treated Dan and especially Schmuel with disrespect. He was fine. But
No disrespect.
and not but. There's no but. He did not. He was fine. He was respectful. The deal was though is he was drinking these twisted teas
Oh yeah,
through
you
the
said
show.
that.
So he's like on his like 6 or something, and he was loaded. You know, it was like that you could just see because he couldn't get. He wasn't really listening to me. He wasn't listening to Chow. You know, and whatnot. But I got him back today because I did a tweet where I said I really enjoyed going on the show with Mira and Musk, but the question unanswered is twisted tea commonly considered a woman's drink? And
no, it's
now
not.
Mira was like, you know, they were, got him, but it was cool. So Chris Mack, at one point, Sirius was paying guests on Opie and Jim like 500 appearance, at least to the regulars. Savas used to go as much as he could. Hey man, as Willie Sutton said, you go where the money is. And but yeah, but Opie, see the thing with Opie is that reputation of Opie fucking with the comedians is really true. I mean, he would make people just sit out in the waiting room for an hour, and there was no reason for it, and he would get pissed off. Now, they would get pissed off, but it may be that Anthony is so worried about how people feel about him. That's why he got upset about it. You know, and you can tell, like with Anthony's quote unquote lack of business skill or lack of business backbone. You know, I think Anthony wants to be liked, so maybe
I never
Opie had
heard
a
that
point
story.
in putting him out there.
I never heard that Opie would make people wait.
Say that again, man. I don't know why I'm not hearing you very well.
I've never heard that Opie made guests wait for.
You never heard that?
No. I mean, I used to watch the show. I never.
Dude, that's
listened to
the that was a huge rub on Opie. It's always been.
No.
He liked to fuck with guests, but he liked control. So you'd have a guy like Patrice come in, and he'd make Patrice sit in the waiting room for an hour before he could come on. And Anthony would be like, "Let's have Patrice in. Let's have Patrice in." But I think it was a power move. Probably.
I mean, I know Opie would step on people's jokes and shit, but I never heard that he was power tripping.
This is like what's the word I'm looking for? Common knowledge, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people knew this. And the deal is that I think it was kind of a power move because Jimmy was the guy that was arranging most of the comics. So it was a way to exert control over Jimmy. It was a way to exert control over the comics. And it was a way to make Anthony perform because Anthony couldn't sit back and just chime in with the comedians. So, and it seems very much like Opie.
Did you listen to Opie and Anthony?
Dude, religiously. Nice. I was with them since they were on NEW. You know, when in the time when I was there, when people used to call up and be like, play the music. Play music. Yeah. And it would be like, play music. You guys are never going to be around. Allison Miller? Used to have fights with them. Like she wouldn't talk to them She was in the hall.
I only heard them. I started listening in '05 when they first got on XM.
Yeah, so I was there
I
since
don't
they
know
got
before
to
XM.
yeah, and so Jimmy I Voss is dumb, but dumber is his hot wife who married that marble mouth hack, Bonnie McFarlane. She's been regretting it ever since.
Is she
Not from
hot?
what I understand.
Yeah, Opie produced that movie she did,
Did he?
and yeah, he put all the money up, and he never
I
got
saw that
anything.
movie and I was like,
It's
the
awful.
dressing up as a man and going, it was just
it's,
stupid.
it's
Like
such a
we can't
bad
tell.
movie. Yeah, bad
Although
movie.
I will say the guy they had Kool-Aid at last year's Hackamania, right? That
Alex Ansel.
we were supposed to love, the big fat guy, really big fat guy.
Yeah, his name's
When he,
Alex
for the first
Ansel.
5 minutes he was on the stage, I thought he was a chick.
Yeah, he's
I
a
thought he was a
very
fat
very
girl.
feminine looking man.
Yeah, well, and he's also so fucking big, you know.
Yeah,
But
he's a big dude.
and that's one of the things that I, I, I like if I get a guy up there that's handicapped, and he does a little bit of handicap jokes,
Do you think a fat guy is a
Right.
handicap?
and he does a few handicap jokes, and then he goes into real material. I'm fine with that. But when you get like the fat guy that his jokes are all about being fat, like everything is about being fat, I'm like, all right, you know. I mean, you're funny, but you're a funny fat guy. You're not like you're not breaking any ground here, pal.
Dude, I
So
took that as you were saying a fat man is a handicapped person.
at 400 pounds, it is. But
It's not far off. Yeah.
you know, the
Their
difference
feet
is
don't work.
handicap people, right? Yeah, handicap people, it's like thrust upon them, and fat people go there. Bonnie is very funny, to be honest. I think Bonnie is hilarious. Um,
I don't like her brand of humor, and I can see why people would think she's funny, but all I can say is look at her writing credits. Fucking Hocus Pocus 2.
you know, but she's got a lot more writing credits, man. The chick's
Hocus
got an
Pocus
Emmy.
2, bruh.
She's got lots.
Did
of
you
shit.
watch that
Yeah, I
movie?
know. Well,
It's not
you
good.
know,
Not good.
Colin Quinn's a great writer, and he's had a few fucking bombs too. But all right, let's do Chris Mack first. Bonnie rules when she goes on Legions of Skanks, as long as Voss isn't there with her. When he is, his insecurity makes him pick on her, so she doesn't really shine. She just gets a few snipes in. She is very funny, and she's really good on those shows. But as evidenced by the time she was with Pat Dixon, she's very fucking sensitive, you know, and it's a little too much, and
She made Voss. She made Voss make a fucking sheet banner with spray paint in her front yard. Black Lives Matter.
oh, did she really? Yeah, but the both of them, they bought their daughter, Raina, the queen. They bought their daughter a car, like a Mercedes or something. Like the kid's going off to college, and they put a bow around it, and they got all excited, and
Good
they
for her.
surprised the kid with it, and the kid didn't give a shit.
Oh.
So shock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about people's kids, but I always thought it was very weird that they always brought her to comedy clubs and put her on stage. I thought that was weird, but
She was in the first years of My Wife Hates Me, when she was a little kid and she used to come downstairs and stuff. She's a funny kid.
not a fan of kids on podcasts myself.
And whoa, Frank, she's sensitive about her handicapped sister. Who wouldn't be? You're sensitive about KB talking about a country you have no historic ties to.
You won't let it go, dude.
What is that? A false? I was listening to Mubi today. What is that? A false dilemma, right? Or a logical fallacy? False dilemma that it's if it's not one, it's the other, and both things could be true.
And Chris says that Bonnie feels bad for Ray.
I would.
You have something in common with Bonnie.
Ray DeVito, the beggar of guests, had Bonnie on his podcast. Yeah, he did last year or so, and Chris Mack, Bonnie feels bad for Ray. I always wonder if she felt bad like for Voss. And
I always
me,
thought that
MBS,
she.
not it's not a false equivalency. It's something dilemma.
I always thought
Um,
that Bonnie married Voss
fake dilemma.
just because that she could get her foot up in the comedy world. That was I don't know why I always thought that, but why
No,
would you
because
marry
she had
Voss?
been dating people more successful than Voss.
Who?
Bonnie.
I'm just joking.
Oh, but I think she was, what do you call it? No, I think she really loved the guy. I mean,
Good for. I
hopefully
mean,
it's
yeah, they've been
lasted. I
married
haven't
for
listened to that
fucking
show in
20 years
years.
or something, right? They've been married for a long time. I'm sure it's not fake.
Yeah. Well, it could be, I don't know, because the last I heard is,
They don't share a room though.
right, that's what I heard. And that's, to me,
No,
that's
it's
if
that's
you
a
don't share a
fact.
room, right, she was dating Nathan Fillion. Man, Frank, you're a fucking, whoa, what's the word that I'm looking for?
But
Savant with this shit.
the
Nathan
actor?
Fillion.
Um, no, I mean, you and Mrs. Buckman share a bed, right?
Yeah, and I have to be honest, it's not sharing a bed, I think is why be in a relationship? You could just be roommates.
Yeah.
And I I've done that. Where I was like sleeping on the couch and not for any reason other than I had sleep apnea undiagnosed and it was like I didn't think I could sleep and stuff so I would sleep on the couch and then after a while it became like regular for me to sleep on the couch and then you're like this isn't right, I and so I share a bed with the missus now
Yeah. You gotta
and
sleep
I
next to the lady.
make sure that I do. But mine is also great because she fucking falls asleep and she is out like a
Yeah,
fucking light.
mine
All right,
too.
Chris Mack. What I mean is, I think Bonnie sees it as Ray may not have achieved real success per se, but he has kept at it for more than 20 years and he shows no signs of slowing down. It's respectable, to be honest. Um, Gee, maybe I feel like that about Ray, and so I like it. And Mole knows Schmuel. I thought you stopped podcasting. Twitter lied again. Yeah, they said R.I.P. Schmuel, but I'm still here.
Did you get killed by Twitter?
I get often. I think, yeah, I was killed by Twitter.
Hmm.
I've been killed by a few of these things. Somebody said I suffered a stroke on air one night, which I thought was very funny. And I was on, God, what show was I on? I was on Echo Pineapple Show, right? And I was very new to this, and I didn't understand, like the equipment, everything was fucked up. And they were talking. I think Dave might have been on and Rochi, but those guys were talking. They weren't talking to me. And I quick bent over to grab something off the floor, and they like thought that I'd had a heart attack and died like on the stream. Like, sorry guys. OG Mumbly Nick, Lucky Schmuel. I have one of those wives who can't sleep. Her head is in my chest, elbow in my ribs, and knee in my back. So, OG Mumbly Nick, I have friends, and uh, the joke is he's a little Jewish guy, and she's Colombian, and she loves to hold on to him all night long, and it's cute how they are. And so one night I tried to do that with Mrs. Buckman, and Mrs. Buckman is like, "All right, it's okay. You can move now. No, you can go. All right, we've had enough of this." She she she's got this. She lays in. She doesn't move. Like she wakes up in the morning, and the positioning is exactly the same as it was when she went to bed the night before. And I'm all over the fucking place.
I have a bed where it's a king, but it's basically two beds together because they go up and down, so we can each go up and
Right.
down. So I don't actually feel what she does. It's the best. You don't, I mean, we're sleeping in the same bed, but I don't feel anything because there's two separate beds.
We have queens, but yeah, and I'm like, she does have to have her own cover because
Oh yeah, we have our
I'm
own
very
blankets.
likely to pull it off in the middle of the night.
My wife likes a big fucking down comforter, and I like a shitty fucking throw blanket. Uh, You
We're
know,
the Yeah, we're the opposite. Oh gee, mumbling Nick. She sleeps fine at my place. Boom.
I've had the same blanket since I was in eighth grade.
Really?
Yeah, I'm weird.
Not me.
My grandmother gave it to me.
I have very little shit from forever. Like, and I
You're
never
not a
get
pack
attached
rat?
to stuff, so
Oh, I do. I
I
got
just move
fucking.
on.
I've got every like love letter any girl has ever given me my
Are
entire
you
life.
serious?
Oh yeah.
That's like people who save their fucking text messages and tweets and shit. You know?
I don't save those, but no, I mean it's a box. It's a shoebox full of fucking letters and notes and shit.
Yeah, either I didn't get that many or I never saved them.
I was a heartthrob back in the day.
Happy. I have the same blanket since I was circumcised. Did the rabbi suck your balls?
Oh, that made me laugh.
That's like a thing in New York has been. There are certain sects of uh,
The moil.
Judaism where
Yeah.
the rabbi does the bris, right? He does the circumcision, and then he goes down and he
That's a
sucks a little bit of the blood,
that's a moil.
spits it out, and they've been giving the fucking kids herpes,
Mm,
and
gross.
it's like trying to outlaw it, and it's no, it's a religious like one of those religious freedom things, So
Nah, just do it in the hospital.
it's very weird. Um, Chris Mack, some of those poor kids die from herpes. I believe it.
God,
I believe it. Yeah, it's just
imagine
very weird, man.
imagine dying of
Like,
herpes as a kid.
well, because they're babies. They don't have, like, you're a baby. You're a few days old and you get an infectious disease.
I don't think you can die from herpes though, can you?
Huh?
How do you die from herpes though?
Well, if you have no immune system, it'll kill you.
Oh, I guess I don't know.
Yes. They are 6 days old.
I'm not a doctor.
No, but I mean, we don't have to be a doctor to know this because I
I
got the New
believe you,
York
Chris
Post.
Mack. I believe Chris Mack. If he says it can happen, I believe him.
No, I
I'm not
knew
going
they
to
were
look up,
getting
can you
sick. I
die of
didn't know that anyone
herpes
had
as a
died.
child? That ain't going
Huh?
on my Google. I ain't looking that up.
It's that community is so interesting to me. They've taken over a town in New Jersey called Lakewood, and the school district is broke and perennially broke because they have so many kids. The community is so small. It's very likely that in their families there's one or two disabled kids or problematic kids, and they all require special education. And it's wild the setup that we have, which is um, even though they go to private school, the state has to pay for like their transportation back and forth. And if they need a health aide or an interpreter or a translator, any of those things, that all has to be supplied. And they certainly know how to get it. And it's like, but it's bankrupted the school system,
I
and they
bet.
keep borrowing money from the state and borrowing money from the state and never going to pay it back.
Do they like run the city government too, or is it just no? Well,
Yeah, but that's the so in there's a when you leave Queens, South Queens, south of Kennedy Airport, you leave Queens, you go into something, it's Nassau County, but you go into the five towns, right? It's like Inwood, Lawrence, Cedarhurst, Hewlett, or whatever. Anyway, Lawrence High School was one of the top producing high schools in the country, had been forever. And it's a Jewish neighborhood, right? So a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers, a lot of scientists, and all that stuff. And then The Orthodox took over. And what they do is like the first thing they do, because there's so many of them, and they vote in groups, right? Whatever they're told to vote, they vote. And they generally take over the school board. And
Mm-hmm.
then what happens is they bring the school board down to the state minimums because their kids aren't going to the public school, their kids are going to their private schools. So now Lawrence High School is a shit show, and it's one of the worst schools around. But it's funny because there's so many. It was so common. Like my cardiologist graduated from Lawrence High School, and I went to a dermatologist a couple of years ago who graduated from Lawrence High School, and he was a young guy. And I said something to him about it. He goes, "Yeah, I'm one of the last," you know, and pretty wild stuff. All right,
I was born in Queens. I don't know if I ever told you that.
where?
Queens Village.
Queens Village. Hey,
Yeah.
Queens Village.
I was born at Long Island Jewish Hospital. I don't think it's
Oh yeah,
called
you
that
did. Long
anymore.
Island Jewish.
Yeah. I think
I had
it's
my
not called that anymore, right?
no, it's Long Island Jewish.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's Long Island Jewish. It's huge now, right? There's all sorts of shit. I was there. Uh, that's where my cardiologist is. It's one of the hospitals that he works at, and I was there the other day, and there's Long Island Jewish, but they've now named everything. It's like stadiums, but
Mm.
there's an entire like campus. Uh, it's like the Zuckerberg Cancer Center or something.
Oh, right.
So it's all these names. There's no, Monsignor O'Malley building,
Yeah.
but yeah,
No,
no, and it's a
that
good
makes sense. It's
and
like down here.
it's a good hospital.
Everything, all the hospitals down here are named after something.
Yeah,
It's
they
Shams
all
or UF or
they all are now, and
Hmm.
they got to sell stuff out. All right, guys, we're gonna try. I really should have been out of here a long time ago, but I guess since we ran over and we have an amazing 15 viewers on X, we'll continue. Now I got 17. We have 17 on YouTube. I don't know how accurate that is.
Oh,
Um,
we're killing it, dude.
but let's
Killing it.
huh?
I said we're killing it.
Yeah,
Those are righteous views.
all right, let's not go past 2.5 hours because old Shmuel's got an hour and 45-minute drive after this.
Oh, oof. So you're in the city now.
I yes, I'm in
Yeah,
Queens now, and then
you're
I'll be
in
headed
Queens
down to
now.
Asbury Park right
Ooh,
afterwards. So greetings from Asbury Park.
some boss action. You can go see Bruce Springsteen.
Nah, that's actually where our house is.
Oh,
So
okay.
so and I'm not worried about doxing myself on that one because one of Gino's fans put my address out on the internet. So
No shit. It's a big place too. I mean, Asbury Park is a pretty. It's not small.
right, and the area is big, but
Hmm. Queens is also a big area.
yeah, Queens is a big area. I mean, I don't mind with Queens where people know. Yeah, I don't really mind like doxing wise and stuff. I don't like for me personally. If I was a single guy, I wouldn't give a fuck, you know.
Right.
But
But you don't commute every day from Asbury Park to Queens?
no, Hoboken.
Oh, okay.
We gotta
So you get like the yeah.
we're kind of so usually I'll
But it's the
spend the
weekend, so you're going down to
right. I usually spend
the
the
fun
weekends, and
house.
normally I work remotely, like Thursday and Friday, and I was supposed to work remote today, but I came in because I feel like I've been neglecting work,
Oh,
so I actually came into the office, and I
you're a good
thought I
boss.
wouldn't be busy, but I was busy, because it's Good Friday, and
Mm.
Queens get the money. That's what the blacks say. So it's funny, Puff Daddy, right? Sean Diddy Combs, um, is from Queens, right? A lot of the rappers, Beastie Boys, all these guys, they're all from Queens. But when I first opened my office, um, I sublet space to a tax accountant, and excuse me, one of his clients was Sean's mom,
No
and
shit.
yeah, and it was like it was pretty funny, and also with the not the dead one, but is it Joey? I never really watched Friends, but he was the dopey one on Friends.
I mean, Joey was the dopey one, but the
Yeah,
dead one
that's the one.
is
He was
Chandler.
also he
Chandler's
was
the dead
also a
one.
client. Diddy's not
Okay.
from Harlem. His I and he may be, but I don't think so. But his mom was definitely a client.
I
Um,
don't know where Diddy's from, but I know he's a pedophile.
Shawnee boy. Yeah, so they had him. He's in federal court, so there's no cameras. But the court picture of him today is like he's all gray haired and
Of course. You can get that just for men.
bearded out. Diddy is from Harlem. We got that. Um, all right, if he is, his reps that shit hard.
I
I
mean,
was 99% sure he was from Queens, but we could look that up. But
it's
Chris
yeah, it's
Mack,
easily
Queensbridge.
figured out.
So Queensbridge is one of the most dangerous housing projects in New York. And Queensbridge is essentially an Astoria. They say Long Island City, but it's really Astoria. But um, if you go, you got to go back to the 50s and 60s when they built all these housing projects. They put them in what were the shitholes of the city. And that area along the East River was all factories and stuff. And so they put these housing projects there. And that's like the Rockaways, right? Red Fern, um, those places. They put all of these housing projects in these areas. But now around Queensbridge, it used to be literally desolate. And now it's like um, it's all built up. And all of that shit was great when Giuliani, Bloomberg were mayors. But with de Blasio and now Adams, uh, it's fucking scary.
Yep. P Diddy
Leo
was
Gunn, Diddy was from Harlan, and now Gino lives there.
yeah.
Full circle.
Diddy was born in Harlem and was
Harlem?
raised in Mount Vernon.
Oh, Mount Vernon. Okay. He's Sam Roberts' town.
Yeah. Westchester, the best Chester.
Um, no,
It's
Sam
rich,
was New
rich.
Rochelle. New Rochelle, sorry.
Yeah, but
I read it.
Westchester County. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. But and New Rochelle is one of those places as well that like a
Rich
lot
motherfuckers
of
live there.
that's where Dick Van Dyke, the original Dick Van Dyke show was that was where his home was supposedly was. And
Right.
it was one of those um it was beautiful, but there's a lot of mansions there, like fucking mansions.
That's where all the
And
rich people that work
live
in
right.
Manhattan work
And
or
then
live
it
rather.
went
Yeah.
and then it went to shit. And so it was like you could literally you would drive past the place and be like, "Oh my god, that's the most beautiful place in the world." And then next to it would be like row houses with boarded up
Yeah.
windows and stuff. It was crazy.
Sad. Sad. Yeah. No,
Would
my
be
family dates back to
surprised,
New York. Long
huh?
time. My family's from New York. Like both
Yeah.
my parents were long time
Most people in
residents.
Florida have a New York
Basically, we're all from
connection,
New York,
right?
dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Frank would be surprised if Diddy, like Epstein, did what they did because they were paid to get incriminating footage of celebrities to blackmail them into supporting Israel. Many people believe this. Many people are fucking idiots as well, but that's neither here nor there. Um, you know,
What a beautiful blessing from Catalano
oh,
TV.
Catalano TV just wanted to wish everyone a happy Easter. And
Mazel tov.
Stallion 19, Joey is risen.
Joey has risen. Cheers.
Yep. And I was going to make a joke about the Catalano network, but I won't. Um, and yeah, Joey, we were talking about you at one point. Um,
Wait,
not too
is that
long
the
ago.
Joey or is that the other Catalano network? I get
Catalano
confused.
network is the other guys that are sniping Joey.
They
Catalano
got they,
TV
okay. That's actually Joey.
is a
Okay.
legit guy. Joey, we need to talk. We need to sit down. I'm listening to the other day. You got all these fucking ideas again, and they're not going to happen if you don't plan them out, put them together, right? It's just going to be one more disappointment for us Dabbleverse viewers. So let's do that again. We've done it before, and Effie, Mr. Idea over here. All right, I'm going to finish with this story, and we'll get out of here at 2:30. Glad we were going to do 45 minutes. Um, So, Affy asked earlier if my wife was starstruck by Perry Caravallo at Pottstown. And the answer is no, but she was shocked by how many fucking people were dying to see Perry Caravallo. So there were, I'm going to say, 150 to 200 people there, right? It might have been more, but that was about it. And there were more, but I'm saying that that was about it because I don't really know how to count, and there's been a lot of different counts. I thought it was higher. I thought it was closer to 300. I mean, it was there, but I wasn't counting. Um, in any event, it was a shit show, right? There was like a 55-minute delay to get the show started, and they did stand-up comedy and um, tried some Stuttering John stuff and whatnot. But the reality is, I'm going to say that 75% of the people there, possibly 80%, were there for Perry. And so Perry goes on, Perry does stand up. These people went nuts. Then afterwards, there was a meet and greet. And you had Anthony Cumia, Bob Levy, Shuley, and I don't know, it was another comedian. Ray was there for a while, but Ray is an entirely different story when it comes there. I didn't know all the back drama that was going on, but KC was there, right? People wanted to see him. But what was really interesting, so they have this meet and greet. They end the thing, and then it's a meet and greet. And these people are going to be around the room, and Perry was up on the right of the stage on the stairs coming down, and it was like if you could just picture roaches, right? They were all crowded around that stage. Cumia was by himself. Levy was by himself. They might have had two or three people each. These people were all there for Perry. And we talked to a couple of the people, this couple particularly, that were waiting to get close up to Perry. And they were like, that had been sold to them as a Perry Caravello show. And to us, it had been sold as a Shuley show, right? Like we knew Perry was going to be there, but we didn't know that fucking Perry's people were doing this. But Perry was the draw. Um, the other guys weren't. Like they didn't know. They didn't know who Kumia was. And but what a shit show! It was probably one of the most poorly run things I've ever been to. So
That's crazy to think that they didn't know who fucking Kumia was.
didn't know who Kumia was. Knew who none of the comedians were. And and you would say like talk about O and A and stuff. They maybe they'd heard about him, but it wasn't there. And Frank is asking if ISO was there, and the answer is yes. ISO was there. I actually talked to ISO
Ooh,
and or
shit.
ESO, and he seemed like a very nice guy to me. I would never have suspected
Yeah, how do you know?
what was going on. Well, that's when he came down.
I
He
mean,
came down that day. He came down that day to tell Shuley that he was leaving and had the problems with his wife and all that shit, And so, that he was there. And like I said, we talked to him for a few because Shuley was like, Shuley did do the meet and greet, but he was under so much pressure and so much shit had gone wrong. You could just see and he walked away, and then I heard Eso talk to somebody, and I recognized the voice, and then I went up to him, and so Stallion 19, Leo Gunn would have went to see Ray. Ray really fucking blew it that night, as far as I'm concerned. We still argue about that.
At the Pottstown.
Yeah, yeah, because he did. I didn't know about all the other stuff, but
Was
he
he?
did. He did like 6 minutes, if he even did 6 minutes. And the place was poorly run. There was like 4 or 5 guys in the front left that were
It's
drunk,
Soul Joel's, right?
wouldn't shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. And I talked to the security guy, and he walked over once and said, "Hey, could you guys keep it down?" And they didn't, and they were disrupting. You couldn't hear anybody because of these fucking guys, and
Was it?
nobody handled it.
Was it the place was poorly run, or was the event poorly
Both,
put on?
both
Okay.
was
Okay.
because I understand that it was done on a shoestring. That Chili was friends with Soul Joe, and uh, that they were essentially said they wouldn't need any security. You know,
I mean,
they
you
wouldn't
don't need
really need any
security.
people.
You
And
don't need
then the dude
security
who
at a
was in the
show.
Soul Joe shirt was like,
Joel.
"Yeah, whatever, whatever." No, it wasn't Joel. He had like a couple of guys there, but they weren't doing anything. Like,
Hmm.
and
I mean, I just remember Soul Joel's was the place that saved comedy during the pandemic because every comic was just, washing that dude's balls because they could go do a show there. So, like, Soul Joel's was the place to be at one
yeah,
point in time.
S-
You remember
but
that,
S-
right?
but Soul Joe's is not it's not a comedy club.
No, it's a fucking pit. It's a dirt pit.
It's a no, that was the outside. The inside
That was
is
that was the pandemic type
it's like a
times. It
banquet
was,
hall, right?
yeah.
Like
Well, he built that after the fact.
did
Yeah.
he?
I don't know. That's what I thought. I
Nah. Well,
assumed.
the
I don't
building that
know.
we were in was
You've
very
been there.
old,
I
but it was a
haven't.
big giant open room, and but it's like a catering hall. There's the word soul
I
and the
think he
other
had
word
that
Joe's
before. I
appear
think he had that
nowhere.
originally, but it wasn't. It's not meant for comedy shows.
But there's no signage for Soul Joe's.
No,
Like I
it's just
couldn't find the fucking place because it was like,
yeah.
Calibria Manor Hall. And the funny part of that is Daryl Hall's mother's
Yes.
memorial service was being conducted in the same place in the building next door at the same time.
How weird.
Yeah.
How fucking weird.
It is weird, but it was
Wait, bring up Affy's. Or there. There. There you
Affy.
go.
Pottstown was the first time I saw Ray stand up. I was speechless. You and Ray. So Affy, you were in Pottstown? Um so Leo
I
Gunn, did
just
Ray
love
do
to
his
hear when.
infamous C word joke? So in Ray's defense, the people in the crowd, this group, were just disruptive, and Ray tried to take care of it, but it was like this was beyond uh, what the comedian should have to deal with. This wasn't like it was hecklers or anything. These were fucking drunks, and they were really there for the Perry Caravello thing, and
So it was
they were
this.
behaving like Perry Caravello. Um,
So his fans are retarded, is what you're saying.
completely. Well, these guys
Yeah,
certainly
makes
were, and
sense.
they were also big guys. They were big, heavy.
I
Um,
don't get the fucking Perry shit. I think
Nor
he's
do I.
fucking garbage. It's dumb.
Nor
I
do
mean,
I.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
So anyway, so what happens is, so Ray goes up. First of all, um, they threw Ray up first, and this is after this like 55-minute delay, right? And everybody's pissed off, uh, and like half the people, or 70%, 75% of people didn't know about the stand-up stuff and everything, and it was an impossible task for Ray. And I really wanted to see Ray, and Ray came out. He had these people to deal with. He had his problems with Shuley, and the staying and whatever. And he gave up. You could just tell he gave up. And then he said later on he didn't want to do any of his good jokes,
Why not though?
or
Why
anything
not though?
new because he didn't want because he knew somebody was recording him.
So what though? You put your best foot forward always. Like why would you fucking put garbage out? And
I
then so wait, so people are recording. So let me put out shit that makes me look bad.
Yeah, I look, man.
Come on, you know what I'm saying?
It's Ray, so you can't.
I get it, but I mean,
Yeah, but it was really bad,
you always put your
and
best performance on ever, always.
yeah, Stallion 19. Tony Mazer was there, right? Tony was there. He did not perform, and he was like another one of these. He was a very nice guy. Introduced myself, talked to him for a few minutes. Not that he remembers any of it.
He
Um,
seems like a nice dude.
What a horrible comic. So I saw him in Atlantic City at that Gino Chad show a year ago with the Super Bowl, and um, it was bad, man. It was
What was
just
bad about it? Joke structure, fucking delivery,
they
all of it.
just he was just it was like he was talking and he was nothing, and it didn't capture anybody's attention. The
Boring
audience was
stories.
it
Yeah.
wasn't very good. But having said that, the host of the show was Keanu, right?
Wait, Kiki?
Yeah, our Kiki. And Kiki was the host, so she came up, so she was supposed to do like basically warm up the crowd and all that stuff. And
What?
it was more like this chick was up there like, I'm hot and the world loves me, and she kept doing the, you know, uh but she does this thing like with her lips like, and it was brutal. It was just fucking brutal. But I will say,
I don't
and
get. I don't get it.
this always amazes me, she um more stage confidence than just about anybody I've ever seen. Like,
Good for her.
she is uber comfortable on that stage,
She's an
which is
attention whore.
great, but then
Attention
you
whore.
don't read the audience at all.
No, she's not. She's not there for the audience's enjoyment. She's there for her enjoyment.
Right. And then when she wasn't on stage, she was standing off to the side. Now the stage is a little
Good point,
fucking
Chris.
triangular platform, but she was conversing with Win by Two, and the two of them were just talking the entire time. And it's like the whole deal, part about being comedian or whatever is
She was into the blade.
I don't expect you to pay attention, right? But at the same time, you shouldn't show me that you don't give a fuck by standing in the front of the audience and doing that. Because it's like,
Yeah.
man, if you don't give a fuck, and I know
Wait,
you've
she
never
was
seen these people perform, why should I
during the
give a fuck?
during the show. She was just chilling
Yeah,
there
the whole
talking to
time.
Blade, just
Yeah, the whole
fucking
time.
cutting it up with Blade.
Yeah. So it was like I've put pictures up at the Tennessee Beer Hall, but I don't know if Leo was there. But you looked at so if you looked across the room at the stage, right? And then you had to go all the way to the right to this platform to see the performers. And on the other side was Keanu and Win by Two, just chatting it up, just chatting it up.
Yeah,
And
Chris Mack said they had a little bit of a love affair.
I don't. Yeah, but was it? She
He's
was
a
with Gino at the time and stuff. So
yeah,
and
but she's a whore.
and then yeah, I'm not. You're not the first person to say that. Um,
I don't know. I'm just saying that from based on what I've gathered information wise.
I've heard that from other people as well in the New York comedy community.
If you show your
Um,
butthole on the internet, you're kind of fucking dirty.
who did that song? Oh, did you see the? Was it on Damover? Was it in? I don't. No, no, no. Where was it? Somebody had this great super chat about her showing. I have to find it. It's a song about her and her asshole and a camera, and no, oh, it was the guy who put up the Permaseal was using my line. No, which is you can marry more money in 5 minutes than you can earn in a lifetime. It
Hmm.
was on KB show, and he was like, you can marry more money in 5 minutes than you can showing your asshole on a camera for no money or something like that.
I mean,
And
I'm proud to say I've never seen her fucking nudes or anything. I've never seen any of her shit.
yeah,
Never seen her butthole.
I yeah, I only saw one picture. She's like it's more like it's like a Spider-Man pose, and she was naked, and that was Kevin Brennan put it up on Twitter. Chris Mack,
Hmm.
you spelled it correctly, and not only did you spell it correctly, but spell it backwards. And um, think about how much people pay for something you can just get at home. So
Well, yeah, but
there,
it's not her butthole though. You're not getting that at home. You're
no,
buying.
no,
You're
no, no,
buying.
no. Naive spelled backwards. I heard
Oh.
a comedian do a bit on it once, and it was great. Um, all right, fellas, I could stay here all night because I'm
Yeah.
trying to delay driving. Uh, so
Well,
you
let's
got
keep going
anything?
then, man. You got
You
another
got
hour.
anything there, Crumb? Anything
You
else?
gotta avoid rush hour. It's coming up.
Yes, Chris Mack. Thank you, Schmuel. I remember that trick. But did you get it?
Do you have to pay the those taxes coming in and out of the city? Was it like
Yeah. So this is the deal. It cost me the normal way that I would drive here from Hoboken. Now, I take the train a lot, but since I've been bringing equipment back and forth, I've been driving. And the normal way I would get here would cost me about $14, right?
hmm, that's
Um,
not bad.
now, for an 11-mile ride, it is. But
Yeah,
now
I guess.
it is the toll went up in the tunnel, so I think it's like 15 to go through the tunnel and then $9 to go through Manhattan. So I stay here until 9 o'clock at night because the toll at 9 o'clock drops to $2
That's what I was
going through
thinking.
Manhattan to
Yeah.
go back. So I've been getting home late, and as long
What do
as
they call that? What's the name of that? The fucking
congestion
pricing.
pricing,
That's it. Congestion pricing.
and
Yeah.
the city says it works, but it's supposed to be for the MTA. And then another thing, like Trump transportation secretary was like, "We're not having this. You have to get rid of it." Um, and then he keeps letting New York extend and extend. So it's all a fucking scam. We're
You
all
still
gonna
got
get
Corey
fucked.
Adams.
Huh?
Corey Adams is still the mayor, right?
Eric Adams.
Eric
Corey Adams
Adams.
is the
Who's Corey?
comedian that used to be on Steel Toe.
All right. No.
Corey Adam opened for Nick Swardson in Dallas,
That's right.
much to Chad's chagrin.
Minnesota guy though. That's why they know each other from Minnesota.
Ah,
Yeah,
no.
because remember Corey's from
Cory
Minnesota. Yeah.
Cory Booker is the senator from New Jersey.
Corey Booker. I was thinking
Correct.
of that guy too. Yeah.
Yeah. And man,
Too many
people
Corys.
love Cory Booker. And
He did the filibuster for no
yeah,
reason about
many
nothing.
years ago, and probably to this day, I was blocked on Twitter by Eastside Dave because I said something bad about Cory Booker.
Dude, I'm blocked by Eastside Dave on Twitter also.
Oh,
Cause
really?
because I told him I kind of said something mean when he was getting divorced from his wife that cheated on him with a drummer. And I said something about like I was like, "What's the beat?" or something, some dumb joke like that.
That whole thing was fucked up because I was in like the Ron and Fez groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was
RonFizz.net.
Missy, there were all these people, Solera, like all and they would just chat and shit was going on. And it was fun. And then
Yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden they did a lot of shit together. There was a lot of like they had a lot of meetups and stuff. I didn't do any of those, but I think the only thing I did was a Halloween party and a Christmas party. Um,
Oh,
but
nice.
they would like regularly get together. And then there was all sorts of, like, all of a sudden there was like shit tweets and texts and messages back and forth, back and forth. And then that's when they found out that Casey was fucking the drummer guy. But
Yeah.
apparently,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, that wasn't the only guy,
Oh no, I didn't know that.
right? Or she'd hit on somebody or something.
Oh.
Affy, the Church of Davy Mack. Everyone take a knee. I like Davy Mack, and he had a morning show on Beasley down in the Point Pleasant area for years, at the Rat,
Yeah.
rock and roll station, and
Yeah.
they let him go. Right? He got
Why?
let go, and but if you drive around in that area, there were like six buildings, maybe seven, that had Beasley Entertainment logo on them, right? And then after David got fired, all of a sudden they all started having for sale signs on them, for lease signs and whatever. And
Hmm.
then I was listening to somebody else who's a DJ or radio guy, and he was saying that essentially what Beasley was doing is, instead of having like a live host, a live DJ, they would bring people in and the guy would cut the promos and the time and all that shit and probably even the weather. And um, so it was AI that runs the show, and this DJ that you're hearing is not really there. He's, could have been 500 miles away when he did it. Nice spot. Did you know Davey Mack went to high school with Tony Rioli? As a Ron and Fez listener, yes, because that was a bit for a long time. And and
Dude,
oh
I
god,
I had
Frank, I'm
tickets.
tired of that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I had tickets for Creeps with Kids, the last tour that they did right before the pandemic, and it was canceled. It was in Tampa, and so I never got a chance to see Ron, and I really wanted to see him live. It was gonna be Ron and it was Creeps with Kids. You remember that tour? Ron, Florentine, fucking Voss, and Bobby.
Ron is about 5'8", 5'7",
Yeah,
5'8", and I met him, and he's a big guy, and he looks like he's gonna fuck you up. Like,
yeah.
he just looks mean. He looks like he's gonna fuck you up, and it turns out you meet him, and he's like one of the nicest guys you've ever met.
Mm.
And so, I mean, I don't know if that's true today
He seems
or
like a nice
whatever,
guy. Yeah.
but he was really like, he really treated the fans well. He was a really good guy.
I was a
Um,
big Ron and Fez fan, and then even when it was just the Bennington, but then when fucking Gale was just annoying, and the show
Got to
got
give the guy
real
credit though,
fucking.
right? He got his daughter a job.
Oh, that's great. I mean, God bless. But the show was real boring to me and very woke and fucking just so heavily like fucking shit that I don't want to hear. So I stopped
Yeah.
listening.
And Ron was always a woke guy, but he knew how to not do it.
Yeah,
Like he knew, like with Anthony, he would say with Anthony, he'd be like, "Hey, the union thing, it's not his thing," and he would just move on from it because people would
yeah,
try to like start trouble.
right.
But after it all ended, I
Always
think,
funny. Always funny.
right, he had,
He always walked around with that dumb hat.
Ron walks around with an artist hat. He had a backwards cap, like a cab driver cap,
Oh wait, no, he's
like a
what's an artist
Kangol.
hat?
That's what I remember him
I
wearing.
remember beret. He's always had a dumb hat on, I thought. But what's an
Yeah,
artist hat? What's
in the beret.
Affy's?
Yeah,
What does
it's a
Affy
beret
think an
probably.
artist
Yeah,
hat is?
but
Like a beret?
I, 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 Ron. Ron gave me many hours of enjoyment, and
Me
it's
too.
where I developed my love of psychotic people. Like I never, his loyalty to Fez always blew me away.
No, dude, I love that show. I loved Ron and Fez. I even liked Ron. I would go back and listen to Ron and Ron even.
So this is
Um,
like, Jesus, has to be 20 years ago. You know,
I
that's
saw.
how
I mean,
long.
I listened to. I started listening to Ron and Fez 20 years ago after O&A on Sirius. I got my first. I got a thing in my car in '05, so that's 20 years ago. Yeah.
I was listening to them when they were on AEW, and Ron and Fez. It was ronandfez.com was the show. and
Yeah.
they would
No, I
have
mean,
these
yeah.
afro shows. It was a lot of fun, man.
I've gone back and listened to mostly everything, on the internet. Think, we got the internet, so you can hear every iteration of every show we've ever listened to.
The Washington shows were like sad, man, because it was like Fez was such a goddamn mess.
The last I was happy when Fez left because he was just depressing. It's like he was just his shows were at the end. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Felt bad for the
Yeah,
guy. Just get the fuck out of there. You were boring us and yourself. Leave.
but it was for years he was doing that,
Yeah, it
and
was it was annoying.
and I I w- I always wonder like Ron was never going to cut him loose. It just wasn't going to
No,
happen.
no.
But I always
Why would
wonder
he?
if cutting him loose would have been better for him,
Yeah,
you know? And
probably. Yeah, probably.
but
Dude, I
man,
mean, I go to Tampa a lot, and after Fezzi left, I'd be in Tampa a lot, and in like where I know the area where he was, from or whatever, and I would be
uh
driving around. I always be like, oh, I hope I see Fezzi, because sometimes you see people,
right.
Never did. I never did though.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. And then I saw like one of the last pictures um of him and he was a big guy, you know?
Yeah,
And he had those heart problems, he had diabetes. I'd say he was, and I thought he was old, much older, but he was like, what? Was he 56 when he died?
I don't know.
56,
No,
57, something like that.
I don't
You
know.
know,
Yeah, but
just
like
sad, man.
like think of the life he had. It was a nice little life. He doesn't work much. Tons of money. Fucking eating good food. You know, shit catches up to you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe
I mean,
Rogan wasn't
and
around to tell people like to get in shape. Fucking eat your meats.
and Ronnie was a big guy. I will say that. And I don't know what he looks like now, but he was a big mofo and huge, you know.
Yeah.
And they loved food, man. I'll tell you that. Or Ron did.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't love
And
food? Who doesn't love food? I love food.
me,
You don't love food?
nah,
No.
nah. I
Not a
feel
food
like I'm
guy.
addicted to it, but I don't really enjoy it.
Oh, dude. You don't like a good like fucking meal. You go out of your way to get
Yeah, of
nice
course I
expensive.
do, but it's not like, my wife is like, we're going to Vegas, right, for Hackamania,
Mm-hmm.
and she's checking out restaurants and making reservations, and I don't give a fuck, you
Oh,
know?
I love that shit.
Just,
Yeah.
well, you and my wife would get along famously.
And we would hang out. Yeah. Get some
Affy,
good
take
dinners.
care of your health, kids. Yes. And
Exactly.
just so
Exactly.
you all know, I went to the cardiologist on Wednesday.
Wait,
And you know what's amazing is I got all my
wait,
results back on
real
Thursday.
quick, Schmuel.
Yeah.
I gotta. You're gonna be around for 10 more minutes because I have to just give me a second. I gotta get.
Why don't you bail and then I'll end it
Okay. All right.
because otherwise I could just talk to you all night. All right, dude.
Sounds good. All right,
I'll
man.
talk to you later, man. All right,
Yeah. Have a
bye.
great night. Thanks for having me
Uh,
again, bro.
all right.
Later.
Chris Mack, Schmuel, take your wife to Binion, the top of Binion Steakhouse. It's old school Vegas ambience, fantastic New York strip. I have eaten at Binion Steakhouse, but when it was Binion's, when it was actually owned by the Binion family, and I think I got a ribeye. No, I got prime rib, and they had this horseradish sauce. And the waiter said to me, "Be careful with that horseradish sauce. It's the real deal." Ah, fuck this guy. Holy shit, was that the real deal? And it was fucking delicious. And the the Dabbleverse crew is supposed to be going to There we go. Had a little my computer just did something wild. Um Jesus. Thank God. We've been waiting for ozone so we could leave. Um I don't know how we do these 3-hour shows. Crumb had to piss. Crumb, I'm still here if you want to come back on, but I got to get off. Um yeah, so there's like this whole big deal of going to Oscars, which I guess is the top of the plaza. And you know, whoa, the yes, I will, Affy, thank you. Um but there was like this sign up thing and they were calling it like not the winners, but like the pay pig dinner or some shit like that. I just was like, I couldn't bother. Um, Roma's, an old Italian makes lady makes a lot of food. I was thinking of Tony Roma's because there's still one in Vegas. Um, yeah. So Affy, so you all, because I know you're all worried about my health. I was joking around with Sarah because he's been busy, and he was rescheduling, and I was like, dude, I'm an old man. I don't have a lot of time left. So if we're gonna do this, we got to do it. But anyway, I go to the doctor the other day. Uh, the old heart is great, and got my blood work back. Amazing. Um, well, I don't want to say amazing. It's great. It's good. It's really good. I always have issues keeping my cholesterol down, even though I take like 2 cholesterol drugs a day, and I watch anything that I eat. But it's genetic, which is why I had a heart attack when I was in my 30s. Um, so I am all good there. Amazing thing though, right? So I got my I got it was amazing. I got my blood work. So I went on Wednesday, and at like 10 o'clock Wednesday night, I got an email. Um, it's like your test results are here, and it wasn't all of them, but it was most of them. Um, and so I was great. My PSA was negative. My A1C was low. My blood pressure had dropped, and I've also dropped about 50 pounds in the last since August of last year. So um, that's helped a lot, and so fantastic. And exactly, kids, take care of your health. Don't be afraid to go to the doctor because they can pretty much cure anything if they catch it early enough. And that's the thing I see with guys that the guys that are my age that have either like mobility problems or diabetes problems, they just like a fucking avoid the doctor, they avoid their medication, and they dropping like flies. Jimmy I, heart attack in the 30s. Wow, not from one of your ex-wives. No, man, no. And my dad had a heart attack when he was 41, and he died when he was 61. And we have genetic, I don't know, is it lipidemia, something like that. Um, we overproduce cholesterol, and I had like major blockage of cardiac arteries. And the story is the luck of the Schmuel. I happened to be in Cleveland visiting family when it happened, and the Cleveland Clinic had just started doing a new cardiac procedure. So instead of taking anything out of my leg, I don't know if we can see it. Let's see. Uh, get that. There's a scar on my arm. Took an artery out of my arm and used that. And they also took the artery the mammary artery that feeds your boobie, and they linked off they linked off that, cut a hole in my heart, and then made a new artery. So they haven't closed up. So that's our medical talk for the night. And you can't be an old man unless you discuss health and medicine. But there
I
you
didn't.
go.
I didn't know you had fucking bypass and shit.
Dude, I have like the worst fucking genetics in the world. I had cancer when I was 47, and
Damn. I'm 47.
you know, and
What kind of cancer did you have?
prostate.
Oof. Dude, I'm pissing a bunch right now. That's why I had to leave. I was like, have to piss so bad.
All right. So
I
my
saw you were still on, so I was like, I'll just jump back on.
yeah, no, no. My so how I was diagnosed with prostate cancer is a story that does relate to women. So
Oh,
I
let's
won't
hear
tell
it.
it now because I got to save it because we
Oh.
we give I I can't give too much in one stream because I'm gonna run
Hmm.
out of these pretty quick. And
That'll be a special prostate
and
episode.
a special prostate. Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
a health thing where we'll all have prostate stuff. But soon, but since I had I tormented the fucking surgeon that did my prostate because I was young and I was like, I ain't having this fucking guy. Um, you know, I didn't want to get I didn't want to get cut, you know, because I was afraid
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to get it up after. And the fucking guy, like when I was asking about erections, he's like, "Oh, they're not going to be any better." And I'm like, "That's not an answer." Um,
Well, they won't be any better.
yeah,
How does he know
and
how good they are now?
so I went to, luckily, but I went to, so I was at him and he wanted to do surgery, and I was like, I didn't want to do it. There had to be something else, and I went to like four. I got like four other opinions on treatments and stuff. And this fucking surgeon calls me up and he's like, "Look, if you're gonna go all over town, uh, I can't be waiting. You need you need to, what do you call it?" He's like, "You got to make a
Commit,
decision. Like this is it."
commit.
And I'm like, he came recommended, right, by another doctor, and uh, but he was he great surgeon, complete fucking asshole.
Yeah, they
And
always are.
but yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of ball. Like, you know, when you're a surgeon, um, you got to have like a fucking you got to have an attitude because you're fucking sticking your hands in people's guts and shit, you know.
Yeah,
But
you're slicing their shit up. Yeah, that's
so then
fucked up, dude.
and then he got pissed off at me again because when I went to get because once you have like prostate surgery, you can't produce kids, right?
Oh,
The
really?
likelihood of you ever being able to have kids is zero.
No
And I
shit.
didn't have any. I didn't know if I wanted any. So I went to go get my sperm frozen. So I go to this the specialist doctor, and the guy had at the time this amazing fucking office. Like everything was computerized, but like you walked into this office and the chairs, like everything, it was just fucking elegant. And the guy was super smart, and he must have had a touch of the tiz because it was amazing the way. Anyway, so I'm talking to this surgeon, and I'm like, going, "Holy shit, that office is fucking amazing." And it was all technology at a time when there was no technology, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So um,
Yeah.
I'm 62. I was 47, so however many years ago. And anyway, um,
Hmm.
and the surgeon's like, "Yeah, well, you know, he might see 4 patients a day. I have to tell people they're dying of cancer." It was just like, oh, dude,
What the
like
fuck?
it was because it was like super competitive. It was that thing of like he couldn't hear somebody else was doing well without taking it as an insult, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And Leo Gunn, I found the best
Bravado.
doctors have terrible bedside manners. It's the
Yeah.
nice ones you have to be careful of. Um,
They don't know
yeah,
what they're
there's
doing, Leo.
so yeah, the way that I do it is I usually get recommendations from doctors, and then I always check the fucking education, where they went to, where
Yeah.
they did their residency, like um that stuff.
Dude,
Because I'm like,
I got a family member who works in the business, and I can call her, and if I have a doctor, I just tell her, and she looks them up, gets all their fucking shit, malpractice, if they've ever been sued, all of it. It's the best.
Yeah.
That's yeah. You gotta look 'em- You
They've
gotta get all
all
that shit.
yeah, the malpractice thing just doesn't fucking matter anymore. They've all been fucking sued. There's no doctor out there that hasn't been sued,
No,
at
yeah.
least in New York. And I have a one of the comrades, one of the guys I've been in business with he
CCP.
sells doctors malpractice insurance,
Oh,
and he talks about that. After
yeah.
he's
I
after
just don't
he's
go to the
urologist
doctor, man.
graduated from Clowntown University, and the
Clown
first
Town, the podcast.
he's making it's a joke. So
No.
yeah, and the first time I got the finger, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
doctor tells me a joke, and he's like, "Yeah." So this guy, he was like, you know, he got his digital exam, and he turned around and he said, "How am I, doc? And why are your pants down?"
It's awful. Jokes are not necessary in that at that time.
So yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean,
How old were you?
because the first time I got a prostate exam,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably like 40, maybe.
I got you beat.
Oh,
I had my first at like 24. I had prostatitis,
ooh,
infection in your prostate. Yeah.
yes. Oh, prostatitis. So actually, no. I was in my early 20s the first time I got
There you go. All right, you
my
got me
digital
beat.
exam. And the only reason why I know this is I know the doctor's name is Butte Miller.
Hmm.
I was in the Air Force and had to
There
go
you
for a flight physical.
Yeah.
And the guy did the fucking finger thing, right? I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
anything about it.
We're talking about
So
our asshole exams.
when I was in the Air Force, the physical fitness testing conducted of you having to run a mile and a half within a certain time period,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't remember what the time was.
12
Well,
minutes.
anyway, everybody had to do this. Dr. Butte Miller was one of the people running. And the other guys from the flight surgeon's office at that hospital were like, "Don't let Butte Miller get behind you. Don't let Butte Miller get behind you." And
Did he
what
finger
is
you?
not only his name, but a lifestyle. And it was like, oh, fuck. I think I was molested.
During the mile run, he fucking fingered you, dude.
Yeah, it was that they were all
Crazy.
going like, watch out, man. Because it was like, you know, you could just picture like the gay Olympics where he sticks the dick in your ass and you squeeze your cheeks together and you're running.
Well, you know what? Thank you for your service. Oh, can't hear you. You're moving your lips, but we can't hear you talking. Oh, you're muted.
It must be the cable because I'm putting
There
my
you go.
hand down. And when I touch the cable, it's muting my mic.
Yeah, I could hear if you when you knocked it. I think a little bit before it kind of like did a little like, you know.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Siggy Jones, Clowntown is a prestigious university. Hey guys, I never intend on doing 3-hour streams. I've always
Yeah.
wondered how people did it.
Oh, dude,
But I got
we could do hours, dude. I'm telling
Oh,
you.
I know it's a problem because I gotta
Mhm.
tighten it up.
No,
And
dude, the masses want it. They want the Schmuel like a 12, 24-hour stream. Mm-hmm.
the stream the other night,
That's right. Yeah.
Wednesday night, no, Thursday night, last night's stream with Dave, I think you and Dan or whatever.
I wasn't there. No, it was you.
Oh.
It was you, Dan.
Oh, maybe that's why it
and
was the
Dave.
most watched stream I've done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you guys
I
were
was-
fucking cooking. You were cooking last night. It was
Yeah,
good.
well, Dave and I also we're special together.
Yeah.
So, but I look, I know Quad and I know other people have wanted Dave to co-host with them. The problem is he can't commit. So it's
Hot
like
commodities.
you
Yeah.
got to take them, you got to take them when you can. And
Hmm.
because part of it was like we were doing in the beginning, we were doing the thing, and it would be like we'd start, and then you could hear his dad say something, and then it was like, I'll be back, and you wouldn't see him anything. So,
Yeah.
and
No.
I like Dave. Dave is a fucking nut,
Yeah.
and
Totally. Good dude.
I'd I'd like him to stop doing the cocaine, but
Well,
that's not it's not me.
personal
I just
choices.
well, as my cardiologist once said to me, um, it has caused people to need heart transplants,
Oh
and
yeah.
they
It'll kill
generally
you.
won't give you one if you're an addict.
Yeah. Well,
So,
no, it depends. Sometimes they'll give you a liver transplant if you quit drinking a couple months
right,
before. You know.
right. I don't. Yeah, the thing is, when it's your heart is failing, you don't have as much time as you do with your liver.
Well, I mean, Dave's heart's not failing though. I think we're good.
Yes, not yet,
He's
not
young.
yet. I
He's a
would. I
young
don't.
man.
I don't. I know, but you're aging rapidly, right?
Yeah.
By doing that, and
Yeah.
the other thing too is like you learn when you get to be my age, a bunch of the shit you did as a kid, man, it comes back to haunt you as an old man. And
Yeah.
I
I'm
had a
sure.
I Dave has a tough life, dad, mom, caregiver to all. I love Dave, that's why. And I
Yeah.
only say that because I worry about him. But I'm like an old Jewish grandmother. Um, I do love him. Ciao, fuck you. You didn't take my link. I sent you a link early. Um, so earlier. And no, I don't know whether Leo put up. Dave didn't seem too gacked out. I don't know whether he was or
No.
he's not.
I
I
mean,
just
honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell if he's. Every time I've ever talked to Dave, he's the same. I don't know if he's on cocaine or not. He seems the same to me. So I don't know. Yeah.
you can't. No,
I
you can
can't
tell the
tell.
difference. You can. I mean, I can, but
If we're
maybe
on
that's
with him
because
next time and he's on cocaine, go like this. Just do like a signal to me.
so. Leo Gunn says everyone says Stevie Lou is a druggie, but he always seems fine to me. He's just fucking high all the time, you know.
Well, they
And
say that Stevie Lou deals drugs. I think that's what he does.
ah, well, whatever. I just the whole thing with Stevie is so like into weed. It um I'm like, you're what, almost 40 or whatever, and shit ain't happening. It's like maybe put that down for a while and see if
No,
that changes anything. But
I mean I smoke weed every day. Every day I do.
right, and what are you fucking doing? You're on a fucking 3 hour stream with an old man from Queens. So
Well, yeah, but you're not smoking weed. So what
not
does that say for you?
serving your I know, but this is my thing. Like, what do you call
Yeah,
it? I worked
we're having
however
fun.
many hours today, and I actually organized before I left. Poor Dave. He seems like a good dude. A lot on his plate. That from KB. He is a good dude,
Yes.
KB. And it's funny because you don't ever really hear a bad word about him.
No.
And when you do,
Oh, I've heard bad words about him.
it's usually when because he said something. Um, but he does say what he thinks, which is pretty fucking cool to me.
I got a buddy that does not like him, and then he's having some issues with the Clown Town
Yeah, I
people.
know.
Yeah,
But Dave loves that shit.
yeah.
He loves that shit. In the beginning when I was getting trolled and I would say something to him, be like, dude, it's what you want. I'm like, all right. It's like, just let it go. Don't worry about it. So he was correct. KB, are you going to Hackamania or no? Yes, Dave has no filter. He
Hmm.
doesn't. But he's also pretty fucking funny. And I don't know whether he means to be or not, but he's funny. KB, I'm not sure. I was very disappointed because it done some arrangements with Quad. We put shit together. Um, Dave and I and Quad were streaming from there, and now Quad tells me he's not going.
Claw's not going now.
Nope,
Don't
he's
know.
backed out.
Why?
I don't know. I hated Dave at first, but he really grew on me like a fungus. Yeah, he does. He has that. He has that habit. And you know, Dave could have told me to go fuck off, but I saw him on shows. I think BYB was the first place and someplace else, and he um, was the cocaine guy, and everybody was talking about cocaine and the
Yeah.
cocaine guy and whatnot, and they're kind of making fun of him. And I sent him a DM on Twitter, and I said, "Hey, man, um, like whether you do it or not is up to you, but I wouldn't talk about because you don't want to be known as the cocaine guy if you're trying to do something in comedy or showbiz or whatever where it's so public." And
Yeah.
he
It
should have
never
just told
works
me to
out.
fuck off, but he didn't. And then we wound up becoming friends.
Yeah. I DM'd Dave one time and said, "You were real funny." And he
Yeah.
said, "Thank you."
It's got to be weird when you get a DM from somebody you have no idea who's like
No. He
concerned
knew
about
who I
your
was.
shit.
He knew who
So,
I was.
well, no, I mean me.
Oh, yeah.
With the
Yeah.
cocaine thing, like, hey man, I thought you were real funny. That's like a great
Yeah.
those are great DMs. Dave drove a big wedge between me and Ray, and I'm thankful for it. And
Oh, he did?
Chow, honestly, at this moment in time, Buckman would be at this moment in time, Buckman would be one of the top drawers.
At Hackamania. Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. And you would
Sorry.
be. I mean, you are. You should be doing a show there.
No, well, I'm gonna do. So this is the deal,
Are you
kids.
doing the VIP dinner and the whole shebang?
I am going to the VIP show and stuff, but I am not going to the
No dinner?
steakhouse thing.
Why not?
I just, huh?
Why not?
I don't know. There's a bunch of people that are like, they want to show off like how much money they have, and they're not poors and all that stuff.
Right.
And like, and I don't drink, and I don't want to get stuck with like, oh, we're gonna split it, and it's gonna be like,
Oh, yeah.
$300 for
Credit card roulette. Yeah.
something will come up, and I would rather be with Mrs. Buckman and
I hear you.
and sit and go somewhere. I think
Oh,
that
Ozone.
that
Ozone
would be
said you
my
weren't
preference. I
invited,
love
dude.
Ozone. Ozone's the best. Ozone is the best.
No,
He
it wasn't invited. You had to pay your way in, I thought.
Yeah, so you have to they had I don't know whether they did it formally or not, but they were going to have a sign-up sheet because they had to let the restaurant know how many people were coming.
Yeah.
But how they were working out how it was going to be paid for and who was going to be paying what became confusing. And look, if it were $200 and I went, that would be fine. But if I knew what it was, that'd be fine. But I get
What
a
if it's
little
free,
weird.
though? You don't gamble. You're not a gamble man, right?
I gamble.
Well, then maybe you go and you play and you pay nothing and you eat for free.
I could, but I, the reason why I'm a gambler and not broke is because I look at the odds, and I like to play games with the odds.
Wait, KB's on, yeah.
$250 for VIP. Eat my fat ass, Melton. Oh, you're talking about the ticket?
That is expensive.
Yeah. So the tickets were like $210 maybe. But I generally buy for all these events. I generally buy the VIP ticket, not because I'm a VIP or want to be a VIP, but it's like this is my way to kind of pay back because I'm not a big super chatter. So I do like a couple.
Pay
of
back
things.
to who?
To the people that are performing, the guys that
Carl?
all the shows that I watch.
Carl?
The Tukis and Carl, not so much, but yeah, the Tukis.
So you never super chat or fucking subscribe or
not never. So I do. That's what I was gonna say. So I do a couple of things, right? So I try to go to every event, and that I
No,
can,
you're a great fan. Yeah.
and then I will buy the VIP to that. If somebody has a membership and the membership is what I think reasonable, I will be a member. And I
2.99.
also do buy I will do I sign up on Patreon. But
Okay.
and I won't do both. Like I won't do if I'm a member on your YouTube, I'm not going to be on your Patreon, right?
Oh, okay.
And
I'm a
if I'm on
YouTube guy.
so well no, but if I'm on your Patreon, I'm not
Or
on your
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
If I'm on your YouTube, I'm not on your Patreon, but I do
I
one
don't do the
or the other.
Patreon anymore. Ever since they canceled Chad, dude, I was like, fuck this fucking woke ass network.
I do Cardiff Blind Mike. There's probably like 4 or 5 of them.
Dude, if you can't fucking make fun of trans people on a platform, I don't want to be on your platform.
Yeah, but you also don't be but you can be not fucking stupid. And
What what
but we don't know, but look, we
what did
also don't
Chad do
know if
wrong?
that's the reason why he lost his Patreon. I am much
25
more
he
likely
lost
to believe
25K a year,
let me
dude.
finish.
Sorry.
I understand that, but I am much more likely to believe that he lost his Patreon because of the Mark Lewis headline,
Oh.
right? And
Which one was that?
he was
About the
like
baseball player?
he was doxing Mark Lewis,
Okay.
and he had his name in the title and that stuff. So, and Schmuel, did you go to Dabble House or did you buy Dabble House? No, I did not.
No.
Um,
No.
I didn't.
Shmuel ain't fucking retarded.
I can't. No, I would if a Shuli event. If Shuli was, I shouldn't say that. I only went to Pottstown. I haven't gone to any of the other events up here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was more because I wasn't going to be around. Um, but and I don't know. Some of it is just not that
I feel it's
interesting.
it's a money grab, dude. That felt like a money grab to me.
What Dabble House?
Yeah.
Um,
It's like they're trying to, be like these streamers who do like, fucking streamathons, and they don't even charge money, but they're making money because they're getting like millions of viewers watching them do shit like live, fucking hanging
like
out.
our 3 hour and 13 minute show.
No, not us.
That we're not getting paid for.
But it's like they're trying to like do something that they're not, and then but charging for it. It feels gay.
I disagree. I think
Yeah,
that I
that's
think
fine.
the people they're not very expensive, and I think the
Right,
people
and then
like going to it. And if you don't,
no,
it,
exactly. And
but
no,
if you don't like it and you don't want to go, you don't. You know,
right.
and
No, no,
and it's
I get
interesting
it.
because a a person named whose account name is Phil Russo Jr. put the entire Dabbleverse thing up on Rumble anyway.
No.
Dabble House.
Yeah.
So that's all there.
I don't
And
know. I just feel
Leo,
like it feels like they have a lot of live events
they
or
don't
like
though, because
money
they had a
grabs.
live event in August, and then this was April.
It's like Carl's like, I'm going down to my house in fucking Florida. Let's do a thing. Pay
Hey,
me money.
I
Good for him, dude. Good for him. But I'm not
yeah,
paying for
I
it.
don't have any.
And I'm gonna say it's
Look, I
gay.
think, frankly, I think it's wise. You
And then
know,
Carl docks the fucking dude. Yeah, see what
okay,
Leo's saying.
right. So we talked about this last night. We thought that on the 0 to 10 pettiness scale, I
Petty.
thought it was a 10. Dan thought it was a 9.5, and Dave thought it was just completely fucked up.
Yeah.
But
I'd give it a 10. Yeah.
Carl, Leo, I listened to that show that he did that on, and one, I couldn't believe he did it, but two, I don't really find Adam Bush as a good match with Carl, and three, they went after the Hawk Tuah girl, like they were reviewing her podcast, and I don't know, it just sounded like cunty, like I thought she was fine, you know. Uh, and it's like I don't know. I just didn't. I I don't know, man. It's like, hey, maybe not every week is somebody going to be available to do this, right? Like you're not going to have somebody's podcast that isn't that bad. So maybe do it short, move something on. But I, I don't know. And Adam gets very serious about this stuff, almost a little too. Then I feel like I'm being. All right, let's go. All right.
Yeah, I don't watch that shit.
Chris Mack. Chad goes through cycles like that semi regularly, Schmuel. He does wild, self destructive stuff, then repents and gets his shit together, back together for a while. Yes. But he did not really repent he didn't really repent with Patreon. Um, I don't think, he's not a
20.
great thinker. And I don't think he thinks about this stuff when he does it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Ozone, Carl said he knows he fucked up, but seemed a little hesitant to really own it. I don't know. He really fucked up. Like, he certainly could have complained about it. He certainly could have said somebody did it, but putting the guy's name out there, especially when he's complained so much about being doxxed, I thought really sucked, you know?
But I mean, no one's really gonna go dox this guy, right? Or go
You
find
don't
him.
know. That's the problem. Like, you don't know.
There's probably a bunch of whatever that guy's name is around. You know, maybe it's a
Hmm.
fake name. Like Crumbum's not really my name.
There's a credit card, so I doubt the odds of it being a fake name are slim to none. But I will tell everyone, as long as you put in the
Yeah,
right
but
zip code, the right expiration, and the CVV, you can put any fucking name on that.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
you can put any fucking name on that thing because I don't have a credit card in some names, and I've used them. Um,
Yeah.
I was anonymous on something, and but I put in the credit card info, and it took it. So, uh, Stallion 19, bitch boy of the day. Yeah, he really does need to be dragged through the mud for that. Um, for a while.
KB had a good point. Couple chats up.
All right.
Chad's too reactive. Very good point.
Where KB? Oh, Chad's too reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But he he doesn't think, man. It's like
No, yeah, he just reacts.
if anybody in the comedy community knows how saying shit and doing shit can fuck you up, Chad should know, right? The whole Patton Oswalt thing, um, the fights he gets into with people. I mean, it's why he lives in Florida and not in California.
Hey, easy.
You know,
Florida's fine, man.
one is not better than the other, but he was
God,
living
I
in
knows.
California and
Dude,
he's
he
in
lives right down the
entertainment,
street from
so
fucking who is it? The wrestler. It's right down the street.
what?
I forget his name. Rowdy Piper? No, he's
Chris
dead.
Benoit?
No.
Oh, Benoit, Benoit. I always loved the
Ric
Benoit
Flair.
thing.
Thank you.
Ric Flair. Yeah, isn't
Yes.
Rowdy dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
God bless.
That was one of my favorite movies of all time. Was that stupid movie? Was it They or Them or something? The one with the glasses.
Oh yeah.
You could put on the sunglasses and see
Yeah.
the evil people. All right, kids. This is way too long. So, if any of you people out there in my chat would do me a favor, you could hit like and subscribe. That would be great. They live. I had
They
one of the
live.
words right. Thank you, Stallion 19. And two, if any of you people out there would like to cut this show up for me so I can put up like, I don't know, 320, if we could do what that would be like, I don't know, hour and whatever segments, that would be great too, because as Mrs. Buckman has said to me when I've asked her to watch it, I don't have fucking 2 hours to watch this shit. So, but yeah, and that's my fear about it. The really long streams make me nervous, but hopefully our voices are good so people can
Oh
go to
yeah,
sleep to us a few
you could
nights.
edit them down and fucking put out another fucking version. You could do
I have
that.
no idea how to edit. So
DM me, dude.
oh, I didn't know you did that.
I don't, but DM me.
So, Cigarette Jones, Chad makes Ray look smart. Ozone at Stallion19. Start clipping this. I've got great thumbnails you could use. It's funny. I was talking to Will Heron last night. Will said, I want Stallion to clip you. And I said, Stallion being in my chat is honor enough.
Dude, you got the best chat in the fucking game, bro.
So,
I mean, in the short game.
we got good. That was a part of the amazement for old Schmuel was that I got guys like Stallion and Leo Gunn, Cigarette Jones, KB, like the PSAP girls, like shit like that. I'm like,
FE.
the fuck is wrong with these people? But I'll take it,
They have good taste, man.
And I got, in the beginning, I got DMs from these guys. I got,
if Chris Mack is in your chat, dude, you're doing good.
Oh, cool.
That's what I say.
I don't know. It's funny because I really don't know people. Like, I haven't been around long enough or in the chat or in any of those groups. So it's like, I didn't know who Chris Mack was. And then people are like, oh, Chris Mack's in your chat. I'm like, I guess, yeah.
Oh, dude, he's a fucking mod everywhere.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I don't have any of those. Schmuel would be attending the 1v1.
Oh, you don't have any mods. You got to mod some people up, dude.
No mods. No mods. Either nobody's a mod or everybody's a mod.
I know your stance on it, and I agree.
I just can't. I don't.
It's stupid.
Look, hopefully one day I'll need a mod. I don't need one now, and I don't want to get like fucking involved in it.
Listen, I was a mod once on Ray modded me, and me and my buddy Kenny. And you know what Kenny did? He started blocking everybody. My boy.
See, that's the kind of
that's
shit.
That's what I say. Like you can't mod some people because I'm just gonna block everybody. No one's gonna talk. Fuck you.
That's what and Ray had that with somebody who was modding for him. Started just blocking people.
My buddy.
And so Stallion19, back when I was just a punk, and Stallion, I remember first seeing you, and I was like, this guy's shit is so good. And somebody gave you crap about when you came into KB's chat or something. I don't remember that, but fuck that. Leo Gunn, isn't Dave a mod? Dave has, he's not a mod. He's got access to everything. He's like an administrator and whatnot. So, and he can use the streamer. He could just pop in. He doesn't have to get sent a link or any of that stuff. So, and he's used the StreamYard to stream, and I'm like, that's cool. Just don't get me banned but I don't know if I can get banned from StreamYard.
No.
So Cigarette Jones, who does like to break my balls, but it's all good natured ribbing. There's a good bunch of eggs here. Yeah, there are, and I like you guys.
They-thems. A bunch of good they-thems.
Like you're making me not want to leave. All right, last chat of the night is Stallion19. Last one that I'm going to read. Stallion19. Haha. Thank you, Schmuel. I enjoy being here. Cigarette Jones is right. Good eggs everywhere in this chat. Yeah, it's cool. I like the good-natured part of it. There's a certain amount of trolling. There's a certain amount of breaking balls. But so far, luckily, and knock wood, we don't get the assholes on here calling other people whores and, the racist shit and all that stuff. So there we go. And that's it. All right, guys. It's been a cool night. The plan is probably no stream tomorrow. On Sunday is Easter, and I will be at Rockaway Beach. I think I might do a walk and talk from there. It just depends upon timing and weather. So we'll see how that goes. But, the walk and talks are the thing. And that's it. Yep, the Ramones. Like growing up, that was the song. Rockaway Beach. Hitch a ride to Rockaway Beach. I don't know if you heard my hitchhiking story last night, but I was hitchhiking to Rockaway Beach when I had a dirty man try to engage in illegal sex with me. Anyway, guys,
no good.
It has been a fantastic night. KB, thank you so much. If I missed anyone, Um, I apologize, but I don't think I did. Ozone, Affy, Leo, all you cats. Thanks for coming in. Please remember to hit like and subscribe. Tell your friends and family. Um, I have 152 subscribers, and I need 500. And we
You're
do
getting there.
have
You're getting
we
there.
we do. It doesn't. It's fine. I didn't plan to hit anything till October 1st. I have PayPal and Venmo and stuff like that. We will. I'm gonna probably start putting that up at some point, just to help recover some of the cash that I've been laying out for this shit.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but no big deal. But if you
Put
feel
a
like
like
giving
a.
money,
You gotta put
give
a
it to the
fucking
DAV, and
QR code up in the
you know,
corner.
you can put Schmuel's name on it if you want to. But
Boom.
that would be cool. And fucking and super chat anybody you want. It's your money. Do what you want to do. All right, guys. Good night. Stay there, my friend.
Peace.
Peace. End stream. End stream.